In this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Broadcasting from a Montana wilderness fortress at the headwaters of the Missouri, this is Matt Christiansen Live. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Oh my God! Santa! I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
I'm terribly sorry, sir, but I'm afraid you're mistaken.
1, 2, 10. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Matt Christiansen Live, a proud duct tape production for, what day is it? Tuesday, December 23rd, Christmas Eve 2025, a rare Tuesday stream. Thank you for tuning in. Sitting shotgun tonight, once again, is two of you. Batman and Joshy Boy. As discussed on the failed Sunday show, only one of you can sit shotgun. Joshy volunteered to sit in the back. He is the reverse Rosa Parks of this bus. So I'm assuming that arrangement still holds.
Saddle up, partner.
Yes, it
Whatever
does.
works.
Okay. Glad
Either
we got
way,
that.
I see he's made efforts to rectify his Where's Waldo appearance.
No.
Speaking of rectifying Christmas spirit, you had 2 more days. And yet you could not come up with so much as a Santa hat. You'll have to ask Santa for one when he gets here.
Been busy.
All right, fair enough.
Excuses.
I should be careful about who I attack, given my professional performance lately. But it is a special Tuesday night production because Sunday's stream was indeed lost to duct tape failure. I'll explain exactly what happened in a minute, or at least what I believe happened. But the Christmas party is back on, the more the merrier. Indeed, Santa Claus himself has agreed to reschedule, come back tonight too. He will join the show as previously scheduled in about 30 minutes. So we will we'll catch up with Santa. He won't be absent from the pre-Christmas production here. In the news this Christmas Eve, the latest round of Epstein files is massively redacted. Trump is unhappy about the photos and the names revealed. Members of Congress are unhappy. The members of Congress who forced it are unhappy with the lack of transparency. We'll check in on the fallout on the Epstein files release. A crazy bum on the streets of Seattle, previously known to police for random attacks on people, committed yet another random attack on a person, this one particularly egregious, though. He hit an old lady with a stick with a screw on the end of it right in her eye, and he gouged her eye, and she's now lost vision in that eye. I don't know if she lost her eye entirely, but I'm sure the incoming socialist mayor will fix it. Did you guys see this clip?
Yes.
No.
Thankfully, it's not super gruesome, but we'll check in. I mean, the injury's gruesome, but the video is not extremely graphic. We'll check in on it. It's all on video. So, you know,
there's pictures of her in the hospital, and it's not good.
Yeah, well, at least she's alive. But this guy, there were plenty of warning signs. He just punched it. He plays the knockout game, but this time he decided to grab some sort of makeshift weapon.
And he just wasn't ever arrested?
Oh, he was arrested many, many times. He was just let go many, many times also.
Where's the niggas when you need
that?
them?
Never happens.
You were saying?
You got people in my skin color who kill each other all the time. They can't once unite and just kill a random bum.
We need to rehome some of the Chicago or Baltimore gangsters to Seattle to clean up the hobo mess. Yeah.
Just figure out who controls what. If the Crips control it, make them make the hobos wear red bandana. Yeah, and vice versa.
All right. Well,
you've seen Sicario. Let's get those guys. They're pretty good at shooting people on the streets.
Well, there are a lot of MS-13 guys, or at least were, and probably still are, a lot of them today. I figured that's how we would solve our urban crime problem and our illegal immigration problem, is eventually the gangs, KTLA American gangs and the illegal immigrants would fight each other. And through attrition, maybe some of our country's crime problems would be resolved. But
the problem is those gangs are really good at refilling their ranks.
Yeah.
With, the youth of your country.
Yeah. It does seem like they repopulate easily. But we got a ton of other odds and ends to get to as well. Later in the show, it'll be a grab bag of news and updates. Santa might stick around. He might not. We'll have to ask him when he gets here. I've also got Hoax Hate from here in Montana to this one is a Hoax Hate whodunit, and it's a mystery to me. I'll be curious to see what you guys say about who's responsible. Much more in the show as well. We'll catch up with your Super Chats also, including the Super Chats that we missed on Sunday. I still have them. I will read them. You guys, please don't let me forget when we get to Super Chats that I should check in with those chats. And thanks to those of you who support the show, of course. Before we get into it, we got to say hello to our friendly listener-owned business of the evening. That's our friends over at Western Razor Company. We know we're being lied to on a daily basis by our government, by corporate media, and by razor companies too. Think about it. Their ads used to appeal to your masculinity, and they took advantage of your sensitivity with aloe strips. They kept adding blades, thinking you wouldn't notice how clogged they got, and the more they changed, the more plastic and disposable they became. The honest truth is that those other razor brands are lying right to your face, and our friends at Western Razor aren't going to take it anymore. That's why their safety razors are 100% metal, made in the USA, and made with integrity. The replacement blades are inexpensive too, so you get a great shave, you save money long term, because when you buy a Western Razor once, it lasts forever. Listeners get a 10% discount on any order when they use promo code MATT10 at checkout. Don't let those other razor brands lie to your face. Go to westernrazor.com, order yours today. Western Razor, the last razor you will ever need. Find all the information at mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals. Deals by listeners for listeners. Before we get into the news, a little bit of housekeeping. Reminder on the show schedule, there is no Wednesday stream for the next 2 weeks. Obviously, tomorrow night is Christmas Eve. The week after that is New Year's Eve. Wednesday stream will return January 7th. Sundays will continue as usual, to the degree that technology allows it. I'll be back this Sunday, the 28th, 9 Eastern, and then Sundays will continue into January in 2026. But as always, if there's any sort of interruption, like there was on Sunday night, check in at mattchristiansenmedia.com. I'll keep the latest information posted there. Now, as far as what happened Sunday...
Duct tape all over the place? It's a disgrace. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think I told both of you guys exactly what happened here, but I had recurring crashes on the PC for the PC I stream with for reasons I didn't understand. I now think I understand them, but they started about an hour before live. I had hoped that they weren't going to happen while live. Then they did happen while live. Without getting overly technical and boring for everybody, I'm 99% sure the issue was a faulty old HDMI cable that was tripping the graphics card, requiring the computer to restart. So special thanks to listener Tortuga, who helped me diagnose that problem. I have run tons of tests on this PC without that cable. I've not experienced the problem again, which means it's right about to happen again in the next 5 minutes. So when you guys see my video freeze again, and I ask if you can hear me, we know that it has struck again. But on a serious note, I know the duct tape bit, the basement production thing, it's a joke. I like to have a production that's a little bit rough around the edges for some authenticity, but failures like that I take very seriously. People pay money for this production. People make this production a part of their lives. I don't take that lightly. It's very important for me to deliver on schedule. I didn't do that on Sunday, making it all the more frustrating. I picked up this new streaming PC in September for exactly this reason, that there are a lot of variables I can't control, but I can make sure that my computer won't fail. I got one that's way overpowered for what it needs to do, and then the computer failed. And it wasn't even the computer, really. It was some old cable I was stupid enough to plug into it for backup reasons. It wasn't even what was feeding my monitor. It was just in there for backup reasons, and that apparently confused the graphics processor. The point is, I don't take your eyes and ears for granted. Thank you to everybody who makes this show a part of your life. I hate when I fail to bring it to you, and I apologize for that. Last thing on the tech. On Sunday, there was an issue with the widget that feeds YouTube Superchats onto the screen. and those were unavailable. I believe that is fixed now. So if you choose to send a super chat tonight through YouTube, it should show up on the feed. But do you guys have anything else you want to say about the tech woes before we get into some news items?
Don't plug old cables into new tech.
Bingo. You're correct.
Bingo.
See, I'm smart. Sometimes I'm smart.
You're hired as my tech guy. All right.
My dinosaur of a PC.
How old is your PC?
Almost a decade.
And it's still running, huh?
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot on it. For context, I built mine long ago, and it was just under 500. So I have it's not a potato, but
$500 back in the day used to build something decent. Now it will only build you a potato, maybe a paperclip in the potato with a little bit of duct tape on it.
It still chugs along, even though it hisses at me sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm reminded of Portal 2.
I did play. You'll hate me. You'll probably hate me for this, Batman. I actually did not enjoy Portal or Portal 2.
Portal was a short game. I mean, I beat that in a little
it just was not for me. But I played them.
I thought those were great, but
I get it. I get why people. I get why people like them. They just.
I never played the second one. I mean, the first one was kind of it for me.
Well, unfortunately, I can't surprise you guys with this story because we already went through it on Sunday, but I want to make sure the audience doesn't miss it because, as you saw, there is indeed a new Nelson. Now, if people aren't familiar, recall the story of Nelson Scott in St. Louis a few weeks ago. No, he was in Tennessee. He was not in St. Louis. This one's in St. Louis. Yeah. Nelson Scott's in your neck of the woods. He's your neighbor, Kaniga, Joshy.
Yes.
And he is the man who found out that he'll now have to work or go to school or volunteer part-time to receive food stamps. And he famously said about these new restrictions.
That's some bull.
Well, thanks to listener Fred, who sent me this story, another Nelson has emerged in St. Louis this week. In Missouri, starting in October, the state will ban junk food from food stamps eligibility. So no soda, no chips, no candy, nutritious food only. And in response to this crackdown, local food stamp recipient Hannah Moore says that's not cool. Why they do that.
But Missourians who get SNAP benefits to help pay for food will soon see a change in what they can buy. John Kipper reports soda, candy, and other snacks will soon be banned.
What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
Hannah Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like.
That's not even cool. Like, why they do that?
Getting next year's soda, candy, prepackaged sweets, prepared desserts, and juice with less than half of natural fruit or vegetable juice in it will not be allowed to be purchased on SNAP cards.
I don't know what Trump is doing. I don't know what's going on.
Missouri's move comes after the Trump administration's push to let states ban junk food products, all a part of their Make America Healthy Again agenda.
Thank God I don't got kids, but the people out there that got kids, it's not going to be cool.
Moore says she's more into fruits and veggies, but worries about families with kids potentially unable to purchase snacks.
Clearly into fruits and veggies. Now, as you mentioned on Sunday, Batman, I think it was you, or whichever one of you, is Purple Drank still eligible? Or Purple Drank, I think, has to be at least 50% grape juice to qualify. So that is going to have some complicating
That's just
factors.
100% corn syrup and food coloring.
So it's out.
I'm gonna say, really, is it really 50% grape juice? I don't know.
No, I don't know
really
the proper
ingredients. I
ingredients.
don't drink it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why they put it in that Sunny D's commercial, purple stuff. That's why they call it like that.
Oh, purple stuff is different from Purple Drank, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all fake. But I also noticed the bitch was a little plumpy, so I was like, maybe that's a good thing.
She only eats fruits and vegetables.
She's really into her fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
She must eat a hell of a lot of them. But it's good for her for looking out for the kids. It's not about her potato chips and candy bars. It's she's just what are parents with kids to do if you can't feed them potato chips?
Please think of the children.
All right. Well, we got into it. We were in the middle of it. We were in the middle of it when the stream cut on Sunday. But yes.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
We are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm not going to go through everything I was going through on Sunday. But I do want to discuss some of the updates in the story. But on Friday, we had the Justice Department up against the statutory deadline for the law that was passed by Congress to release all the Epstein files in their possession, redacted to protect victim identities and other potential restrictions. But the Justice Department made this dedicated website to host these documents. And there are a few highlights that are worth discussing briefly. As we were getting into there's a lot of redactions, and specifically the New York grand jury material. We were going, it's not even zebra stripe as we were talking about. This is just walls of black. It's 100-some page document that is just walls of black. But we do know that it's New York grand jury material. So at least there's a little bit of a clue. And then we got pictures of Bill Clinton in the hot tub having a great time on, I guess, Epstein Island. I don't know exactly where this is. Could be elsewhere, but he's in the company of Jeffrey and Ghislaine. You get a bunch of other people photographed in these files. Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Mick Jagger, Chris Tucker, Prince Andrew, of course. Many more people. We also got some of the complaint material from Maria Farmer, who is the earliest Epstein accuser. She was an artist or a photographer for Jeffrey Epstein. She filed a complaint with the New York Police Department and the FBI way back in 1996, claiming that Jeffrey Epstein had stolen some of her personal photographs of her sisters, and Jeffrey Epstein had asked her to take photos of young girls at the pool for him, and that Jeffrey and Ghislaine had sexually assaulted her. And for the first time, some of her complaint materials are now public, so that's valuable new information. Of course, it's generally believed, and to the extent no action was taken, NYPD, FBI didn't take her claims very seriously, which in retrospect looks like a poor decision. But a lot of problems with the release. Number one, they're incomplete. Supposedly Friday's release was only about 10% of the Epstein files in the DOJ's possession. DOJ says they haven't had time to review all the material. They continue to release more, and they have put out more since Friday. And the redactions in general are a problem, but specifically the lack of explanation for the redactions. Under the law, the Justice Department has to explain each individual redaction, why they did it, and they didn't do that. They just redacted stuff. Most is assumed to protect victim identities, but again, if we have entire pages blacked out, what exactly are we protecting here? And the point of fact on the grand jury information from New York, it's not just that the law from Congress compels the release of this material. This material was actually cleared for release by federal judges overseeing the case. So what exactly is the giant wall of black about? What are we missing here? But I didn't have this. Sorry, go ahead.
One thing that interests me is generally when they're redacting pages of text, they just black out the letters, the words.
Yeah.
If they're blacking out entire pages, are these photographs?
The truth is we don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's 109. Do they have just 119 pages of photos? Maybe. I don't know.
But then why wouldn't they just block out the faces?
Photographs, and if they're photographs, why wouldn't they just block out faces?
Yeah.
So that's something that was on my mind.
You know what we should try to address your question is the old copy paste trick, because this is claimed on TikTok and X and other social media. I've not verified this, but people are claiming in these videos that the redactions were actually incompetently done. As in the redactions, you can actually open up Adobe or any PDF viewer. You can copy the redacted material and paste it somewhere else, and the bars will be removed and the text remains. So here's someone claiming to do that in a TikTok video this week.
Oh, look at this pesky redaction. Let's just get rid of that.
That is insane.
This is what happens when you fire government.
Okay.
If that were true, then the full context will already be out there then.
Yeah, I need to go and find the document she was looking at, and it might have been cleaned up by the DOJ already, because they've taken stuff down and put stuff back up. Gotcha. And just because one is copy pastable to get around the redaction doesn't mean all of them are. Again, this is unverified. I'm not sure this is 100% true, but people are making the claim. But that girl has it all wrong. She says this is what happens when you fire government workers. No, this is what happens when you hire government workers. You're right.
Bingo.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Somebody on the chat here points out the fact that they are PDF files is peak irony.
Yeah, that is peak irony.
PDF files about PDF files. You're right. And poorly made PDF files at
That's
that.
fabulous, Pilot Grove.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Now, the other problem with the release, it's contrary to what the DOJ said in July and what Pam Bondi has said previously. Now, remember in July, we got this bizarre 2-page memo from the Justice Department that said, well, we looked and there's really nothing to see here. There's no incriminating client list. There's no evidence that Epstein blackmailed anybody. And so no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. But now there are hundreds of thousands of pages. They need even more time to go through the material that they say they haven't gone through yet, or at least haven't gone through adequately. How did they know? How do they know, or did they know back in July what was suitable for release or not, or warranted release or not, if now they're saying we actually haven't had enough time to go through all of it? Pam Bondi, of course, actually said back in February, I've got the truckload of documents on my desk ready to go. We're going to bring people here and give them binders. Phase 1 of the release. And phase 2 is there are no additional phases. Phase 1 is stuff you've already seen before. Phase 2 is actually there were no phases from the start. This is all a made up hoax. So it's totally contrary to what Pam Bondi has been saying. I mentioned there are files disappearing and reappearing. We've now had multiple instances of files getting posted and then taken down without explanation.
That's not even cool. Like, why they do that? I don't know what Trump is doing.
Over the weekend, at least 16 files went offline, including a photo that showed a photo. I saw it earlier today because now it's back up or someone grabbed it. It's like a photo of a desk or a dresser. I don't have it handy, but in the photo, there's like a Polaroid of Trump and Melania with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. There were other photos of paintings of nude women. That was the initial round of documents that disappeared and potentially reappeared. And then we've had more since. Just after Monday, there were additional documents. Back up a little bit because the Justice Department was asked about those disappearing documents over the weekend. They didn't respond to individual reporter questions, but they did post on X that photos or other materials will continue being reviewed and redacted consistent with the law in an abundance of caution as we receive additional information. So it sounds like they're posting stuff and then saying, whoopsie, we got to go back and take that down.
We're just going to have more black pages?
Yeah, the problem is professional etiquette or professional standard in even a reporting situation is you make changes to stories as needed, of course, but you note what the changes are. You don't ghost edit or stealth edit in this way. And
unless you're a modern journalist, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they do it, but yeah, that's the point is they're viewed as dishonest when they do. And and then we got
peers, which is the problem.
Yeah. Well, it just depends in service to what perspective they're doing it, of course. Mm-hmm. But then they posted tens of thousands more documents on Monday, and then they took them down again without explanation. In this case, the content of that material was government documents and emails, dozens of prison videos, but a lot of the material was related to the 2008 negotiations between the Justice Department and Epstein lawyers to settle his case, and then again 2019 negotiations between the Justice Department and federal prosecutors as they brought charges for his trafficking ring, and that's why he was in prison, and what happened or didn't happen in 2019 then commenced. But did you guys see Trump's response at Mar-a-Lago when he was asked about all this stuff?
I have not.
Okay. Well, famously, he was ripped for this response earlier.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
This is maybe the sequel to that, but you have all these redactions and problems with the release. You have Epstein victims out there saying this is not sufficient. We need more information than this. Of course, you got members of Congress who pushed for this release, not happy with it. So Trump's at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. He's announcing the construction of giant new Navy warships to be built over the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. And a reporter asks him about the Epstein files. And, the response was in part a defense of Bill Clinton.
Were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their full release by the end of the year? Some of the victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, but I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me too. Everybody was friendly with this guy, either friendly or not friendly, but he was around. He was all over Palm Beach and other places. The head of Harvard was his best friend, Larry Summers. And Bill Clinton was a friend of his, but everybody was. I actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. And as a person that was in Mar-a-Lago, I threw him out. Mar-a-Lago, this is Mar-a-Lago. It's the hottest place I think it's the hottest place in the world. Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein many years ago. And they're, highly respected bankers and lawyers and others. And they'll end up, because of guys like Massie, who's a real lowlife, whose polls are down to about 9%, by the way, in the great state of Kentucky.
Okay. Am I being too critical on that to say it is a bad sequel to what he said previously, ripping a reporter for asking about the Epstein files?
No. That's ridiculous. Like, how does he not realize how badly he's fumbling this situation? He's usually so good at having his finger on the pulse. Usually he's able to be very diplomatic. He's able to really fire up his base. He's able to really sort of appeal to them in action most of the time, and particularly in what he says. But he's just whiffing this one on every count.
It's weird because I actually do get the point that this is going to be used opportunistically for defamatory purposes. I think we've seen a lot of that, not just with Trump, but you probably see that with a lot of people. But it is weird. I'll qualify. He was asked about Bill Clinton specifically, so that's why the response was about Bill Clinton. But man, was it kind to Bill Clinton. Like, lock her up regarding his wife, but if Bill has a great time in the hot tub at Epstein Island, leave him alone. Leave Bill alone. He didn't do anything wrong.
That guy sucked his dick. I'm just kidding.
Well,
no, I just don't. That's not a satisfactory answer, and that's slight at Massie. I mean, I don't care what his percentage is in the polls, man.
I don't. It doesn't matter if it's zero. Yeah.
How did he manage to attack Massie, who is a far better person than Bill Clinton ever was, while defending Bill Clinton as Trump? If this is Trump we're talking about, I don't know. He's been terrible about this whole Epstein situation. I do not understand it.
Well, there's some information people are using to implicate Trump, and in Trump's defense, I think that the stuff that has come out is very weak, and I continue to believe that Trump will not be directly implicated by this, because if he was, Democrats would have deployed it long ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But supposedly there's information in this latest release to say that Trump had more plane rides with Jeffrey Epstein than was previously known, or in contradiction to what he's previously said. There is an email from a U.S. attorney, or an assistant U.S. attorney, unnamed, released in these files, that says Trump, this is from early 2020, so politics might play a role here, but Trump was on Epstein's private jet 8 times between 1993 and 1996. Trump said in 2024 he had never been on Epstein's plane. Now, the email, which is included in this story here, as far as I see, does not substantiate the claims of the plane rides at all. It's just, this is what a U.S. attorney said in 2020. We don't know what the evidence for that is. But the DOJ says in a statement that there's a lot in this release that is just false or sensationalist and is not true. And implicitly, this plane ride claim is one of those things. But I guess a U.S. attorney said in 2020 Trump had 8 plane rides between 93 and 96. So there's also a document circulating. the Brian Krasenstein was pushing this one today, so I probably don't need to say anything additional beyond that point. Mm-hmm. But I read this document. This is a report to the FBI from 2020. Also consider potential. This is October 27th, 2020. So maybe some political motives at play here. I read this story through a few times and I still can't understand it. It's only 2.25 pages. But the claim here, fundamentally, this is a claim that Trump teamed up with Jeffrey Epstein and raped a woman or a girl, and she supposedly testified to that. But this guy called the FBI in, again, October 2020, right before the election. The caller claimed that in 1995, he drove Trump around in a limo, and Trump was talking on the phone about a guy named Jeffrey who abused girls. And then in 1997, this limo driver who heard Trump talk about that was talking to, it doesn't say his wife, but implicitly the mother of his children, or whoever he's in a romantic relationship with. She claimed, based on that story of driving Trump around in a limo, that Trump raped her with Jeffrey Epstein. And then this woman killed herself in Oklahoma in 2000, according to this caller, who also had a lot to say about the Oklahoma City bombing as part of this call. But to recap, what this is a secondhand hearsay account from an anonymous guy about a woman for whom we don't actually have an identity. And he called the FBI and described supposedly what happened 23 years prior after he heard about it happening. He didn't actually witness it. So I'm not believing the Trump and Jeffrey tag team rape operation based on this particular document, but it is circulating.
Wow.
Are you convinced?
No, not really.
I don't know if you can copy paste
What do you
these.
mean? They would never lie.
Odd timing. Man, I forgot that my girlfriend got raped by Trump and Epstein 23 years ago. I better call the week before the election in 2020 and tell them about it.
That's what we call an opportunistic prick.
This really is the fundamental disadvantage that the right has over the left in general. And that is, we just aren't as good at fucking fibbing as they are.
Got to up the lying game.
We are institutionally enabled to just lie through our fucking teeth.
Mm-hmm. We're afraid. Most of us who are Christian are afraid of, well, if I lie through my fucking teeth, God is going to smite me where I stand.
I would say that's a wise fear. Yeah. It's good to be on Team Truth, even if it has negative consequences sometimes. But hey, guess what? He's here. You ready to try again?
He better have my present this time.
All right, let's go get him. I'll be right back.
A couple days early, aren't you?
Stand back and stand by. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho.
Welcome back. Our guest tonight is the man himself, Santa Claus. Santa, thank you for taking time out of your busy Christmas schedule to be
Merry
here.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Double thank you on your flexibility to reschedule after Sunday's mishap.
Of course, Matthew.
Well, I'll tell you what, Santa, I thought I needed a new PC for Christmas. Actually, all I need is a new HDMI cable, maybe one that was purchased sometime more recently than 10 to 15 years ago. Do you have one?
Jesus
an extra
Christ,
one?
that's how old it is?
I claim that I keep up on the details and do stuff like that. Anyway, you got an extra one laying around the
Sure, I
North
can
Pole?
find one around on the floor. We usually line the reindeer's pens with them, so I can grab you one out of there if you want.
Well, Santa, I understand that you've been keeping your usual naughty and nice list all year long.
As always. Yep,
and,
that's what I do.
And you're finalizing your naughty and nice list for 2025. As I understand, you've got it mostly figured out. Maybe a few decisions left to make, but you have brought our show a little insight, a little insider information on exactly who was naughty and nice this year, who's getting presents and who's getting coal in the stocking before you take off for your Christmas Eve duties tomorrow night. So let's get into it. Who can you tell us about, or what can you tell us about who was naughty and who was nice this year?
Okay, well, let me tell you real quick. First, I got to get, as you know, I have to get my usual food and beverage to get started here. So I couldn't find any cookies, but Barry, the head elf who manages the reindeer, he gave me these. He said they're donut holes, but I don't know how we got donut holes out of the reindeer stalls, but still, I'm going to try a little bit of these there.
I'd be careful with those.
Also got milk, and I found out now that they put milk in cans, which is great. Didn't know that before. So I got some. It's a little darker than I'm used to, so I think it's chocolate milk, but that's all right.
I think you're supposed to carry that one in a brown paper bag, Santa. You might be careful.
Well, that's how it make it taste better. Okay. But anyway, okay. So anyway, let's take a look at the list here. Let's see here. First name on the list is Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi's right there on that list.
Okay. Well, Pam Bondi seems like a pretty obvious one. Pam Bondi's got to be getting coal. Nothing but incompetence and lies. Not only the Epstein files problem, but really no meaningful prosecutions for all the swamp corruption. Pam Bondi's got to be naughty. Would you guys agree, disagree, Batman, Joshy?
Well, with that extremely fake smile, and she also needs to take off that cross around her neck, right?
She doesn't even count as Christian anymore. Oh my God.
No, she's probably Protestant. That's the problem, right?
Hey, leave us alone.
Oh, look, I'll continue to bully you until the end of time.
When you lie as much as she does, I think you wind up on the naughty list.
Okay. Santa, we're unanimous here on the panel. Pam Bondi, naughty, right?
All right. Let's see here. She is actually, no, she's on the nice list, says here. She's on the nice list, it says, for being environmentally conscious this year and doing quite a bit of recycling, including recycling a, quote, truckload, end quote, of old papers.
Oh, that's what she did with the truckload of files. She was environmentally responsible about it. That's good to hear.
Environmentally responsible. Let's see here. Next on the list, we have Pete Hegseth.
Okay, Pete Hegseth. Mm-hmm. I would say pretty good record of restoring sanity in our military. I think he's had, to some degree, some made-up controversies about Signalgate and the Franklin memes. One could be critical about or at least worrisome about what's going on in the Caribbean and maybe us getting more involved in places that we shouldn't be. But I would say, based on the record, certainly relative to his predecessor, Pete Hegseth is nice. Would you guys agree?
All right, at the risk of sounding extremely homo, right? He's got a strong jawline, a real steely-eyed look, right? And he has great hair.
That's a big game, man.
I was going to say, dude, you're not doing your own reputation any favors with that.
Look, man, it's already tarnished, okay?
Nobody tarnishes it more than you. But
Batman walks like a duck and it talks like a duck. I'm kidding. No, I think that it is the job of a warrior for a nation to defend that nation, and I think he's been doing admirably at that. So yes, obviously.
Okay,
nice list.
It's a nice for Hegseth, Santa.
All right, well, let's see here. No, actually, he's on the naughty list.
What did he do?
Naughty list. Well, he went to a potluck apparently, and he didn't bring a dish.
Oh, he's that guy.
Apparently,
maybe
that
does
guy.
he crash weddings too?
Don't. Let me see here. Nope.
Just
the
one pot. That's all you got to do to get
That's all
coal.
it took, I guess.
Forget the casserole.
I don't make this list, so
Wait, who the hell makes it?
The elves do. The elves do. Now, by the way, I got to talk about that. I hate ice. I'm an anti-ice person. I mean, how the hell does he think we get these toys made with all these undocumented elves? He's going to deport these guys out of my workshop.
Have you had ice raids up at the North Pole?
Not yet, but we're scared of it. They haven't made it this far yet. But we're getting ready.
Of course, there are ice raids up there. What do you? Just up there, they call them blizzards.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you eliminate the ice at the North Pole. I don't know if it's
much as ice as we have. We don't like it.
Yeah.
All
okay,
right,
who's next, Santa?
Next on the list here, we got, let's see. Oh, Scott Jennings of CNN.
Mm-hmm. I would say I'm not a frequent CNN viewer, but what the clips I see, I think he's done a great job making CNN watchable again. So I don't know much about the guy, but in terms of his contribution to that network, I would say nice. You guys have an opinion?
I have no idea who this is.
Okay, well, that's honest. What do you think about his jawline and his hair?
He has great hair. His jawline is a little puny, so he gets an F in that department. He looks sad and old. So
okay.
Look at this fat.
You need to lisp more, dude.
I can't do that though. That takes like
Batman.
No, I think Scott Jennings has been wonderful about correcting the record insofar as CNN's propensity towards falsehoods goes. And he's been able to do it in a very hostile environment. And he hasn't seemed to, you know, they haven't been able to make him bend. So in that, I would call him righteous and nice.
You want to make him naughty?
Oh, I didn't. No, I was gonna make him nice. Batman convinced me.
Oh wait, you called him naughty originally. Okay, so now we're in agreement on nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Santa, Scott is nice.
Okay, let's see. Nope, naughty list.
What did he do?
When he put on a new roll of toilet paper, he made it face the wall.
Oh my God, that is unforgivable.
You suck. Fuck you.
Fuck that dude.
That does change my vote.
That's
gosh, that drives me
pretty high up on
the
the naughty list right there. Looks like.
What does he pour in the milk before the cereal?
There's only one reason to do that, which is acceptable, and that is if you have a new cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Where's mine?
Well, it's Santa knows he knows everything. So this is why you have to go over the list. Sometimes people seem nice. Well, the elves, whoever's doing
the elves. I don't have time to make this list all year long. I got things to do.
All right. Who we got next, Santa?
Oh, let's see. Listen, next on the list, Ilhan Omar.
Okay. This is an obvious naughty. This woman is a walking lie in her every statement and behavior. There is no way that you are possibly going to make Ilhan Omar nice. What does the panel think?
Well, let's see. She's an infidel and I'm Christian, so there you go.
Simple as that. Okay.
Fucker.
Hey, there's no allegation that she had sex with her brother. As far as
there is.
Is there?
Yes.
I haven't heard that one. See, I've been caught in this several times where I try to be as precise as possible about Ilhan Omar. Well, it's this, but not that. And then later I find out, oh, it is actually that. I shouldn't have given her the benefit of the doubt. So you're probably right. Okay.
I've definitely heard that there are certain things that go with marriage where the marriage doesn't work in their particular sect of bullshit.
Okay, so they had to consummate it.
Yeah.
I will say that incest is perfectly acceptable in Islam. So, and that's the reason why she's on the
we know.
list.
It's why they're all fucking inbred. And it's why all Somalis look like the little "You Are Here" pin from Google Maps.
Oh, I thought it was the Mars Attacks guy. That's what I go with.
That works too.
Megamind.
Okay, Santa.
You are here.
So we are calling Ilhan Omar decisively naughty.
Got it. Okay, so no, she's on the nice list.
Okay.
Apparently she was named Big Sister of the Year after being nominated by her husband.
Big Sister of the Year by whom?
Get it? Her husband. Her husband nominated her. Get it?
Oh,
that's because she married
Is she like
him.
Big Brother's Big Sister? Is she involved in that charity or something?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Husband and brother are same person.
That's what his Big Brother's Big Sister. Her husband nominated her for Big Sister of the Year.
She had a big brother, all right.
All right, great Big Sister. Okay, who's next?
Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay, mixed bag
Christ,
here.
That face.
You can rip on her face in a second.
Okay,
but mixed bag, a great voting record in Congress. I wish every member of Congress voted like she did. Recently has really bitched out about getting called out by Trump, even though I think she's standing for the right thing in Epstein files, transparency, and all that. But making yourself a victim and quitting Congress, I'm not a fan of. So I'm going to say, well, this year overall, I might consider her nice, but recent antics, I'm going to grade 2025 as naughty for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I think I'm there with you. I think this most recent crash out has really been has really put a lot of black spots on her record, and maybe those black spots need to be met with coal.
I don't want to be superficial or anything like that, but I'm going to remain neutral on this one. How about that?
Okay, she has a nice smile, but a terrible nose.
I didn't say all that. Okay.
Oh.
I didn't say all that. You saw me.
What are the aggravating and mitigating factors?
Woman, suddenly he's neutral.
So you're abstaining from the vote, is what you're saying?
Yes, I'm abstaining from the vote.
Okay, so Santa, I guess that's a. Wait, what was your vote, Batman? You agreed with me. It was naughty.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 2 and 1 abstention, Santa, for naughty from Marjorie Taylor Greene.
All right. According to this, she is on the nice list. Yep.
Oh, how did she earn your favor?
The reason the L's gave was she left Congress. Oh,
okay.
I don't know what those L's are thinking. I don't.
She did remove a woman's vote in Congress. I can appreciate that. That was pretty nice.
That might be the reason right there. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
What do the elves think about women's suffrage?
Are there any women elves in your line?
Oh, there's male elves. There's female. How do you think we get so many elves up here? So those things breed like rabbits, I swear.
Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene is nice for
it's the beards.
She is nice. Fair enough. Who's next?
Let's see. We got J.D. Vance.
Okay. I generally like the guy, a presumed 2028 Republican nominee, of course. I think he's trying to navigate some right-wing infighting right now, and I think he's doing a decent job of that. Good meme game this year, so I'm going to give J.D. Vance a nice grade.
He is slowly but surely winning me over. I didn't trust him at first. I thought he was going to end up like Pence later on in the future. If he just got rid of the beard, he would go from a B- to an A.
Shut up, faggot.
I don't like
the beard.
He doesn't look good with a beard, man. Okay. He just don't.
All right. I'm going to hold my tongue. Now I'm the one appreciating his jawline. Look at that. Batman?
I think he's actually whiffed this year less than Trump has.
Okay.
I think he's been pretty spot on in everything. He treats the left with the contempt that they deserve, which I very much appreciate. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Okay,
nice
so
list.
That's too nice. Wait, you're a naughty Batman or Joshy, right?
No, he won me. He's winning me over.
So it's 3 nices. You just say shave the beard.
Yeah, shave the beard.
Okay, JD Vance is nice, Santa.
Okay, actually, he's on the naughty list.
What did he do?
He's on the naughty list. Apparently, he piled trash on top of the kitchen trash can when it was full and didn't replace the bag.
He did that to Usha and his children.
Yes,
son of a
that's
bitch.
what he did.
You know,
I'm guilty of that.
I almost murdered a roommate over that once. I could have been on one of those true crime shows, but thankfully, my inhibitions held me back. Okay, I understand. All right.
So, did you use a hammer, a la the Alaskan Avenger, or
no? I don't know what I contemplated doing. But yeah, that I if JD Vance was my roommate and he did that, I agree. All right, a couple more from Santa here.
Okay.
Who else you got, Santa?
We got Tim Walz.
Okay, Tim Walz, obvious naughty, presided over the largest fraud in the history of the country. And, of course, has terrible friends. Speaking of shooters, they're all, I almost became a Tim Walz friend, but my better judgment held me back from that. Tim Walz is naughty, for sure. There's no debate about it.
Speaking of shooters, he's not one, even though he lies about being one.
Yeah, he has his friends do it. Okay. Anyone want to make a nice case?
He doesn't know shit about how to load a shotgun, so...
Yeah.
How about
does he need a beard or is he good without a beard, Joshy?
He would probably look better.
How hot is Tim Walz?
How hot is Tim Walz?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I don't know. What, like 60?
1,000?
Yeah, too old. I mean, if he had a beard, okay, I can appreciate that a bit more.
Okay.
I love how I'm just being completely
superficial. What the fuck is happening in this?
Look, man, just let it ride, all right?
Bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here.
Thank you. I was thinking that quote.
Okay, so is that a naughty or a nice?
All right, so no, he's on the nice list. He's on the nice list for bringing more attention to the plights of the mentally disabled community.
Okay. Now, Santa, speaking of, I have friends who have done their civic duty. I have not yet. Have you taken the sleigh by Tim Walz's house to call him retarded?
No, I have not. No. How many times I got to tell you, it's not retarded. It's politically correct term is tarded again.
It's hearted again. Okay.
Again.
Will you take the sleigh over Tim Walls' house on? Because now that he's nice, you have to deliver presents. Will you call him? Will you call it?
As I can. Yep,
Okay. Hearted
right.
again and again and again.
I've got a whole hour booked out for that, I believe.
Okay.
On my
Thank
schedule,
you.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. All right, last one from Santa Claus here.
Last one, Brian Koberger.
Wait, I thought we had RFK. Is he
we
not a
can
part
do
of this?
RFK.
All right. Yeah, let's do, there is one. You're right. There are two more. I got confused. Brian Koberger will do last.
All right, we'll do Brian Koberger last.
Yeah.
How about RFK Jr.?
Yes. Okay, I would say I think he, for as much as he is portrayed as kooky, I think he's done a great job in countering a lot of the nonsense propaganda coming out of HHS. I think he generally is putting this country on a healthier track. So I would say I'm a fan of the course of action that he's taken. RFK Jr. is nice.
You want to go, Batman?
Yeah, I generally agree. I think a lot of the decisions that he's made have been generally good. I was definitely worried about him at first because he's by no means a conservative of any description, but I definitely think that he's put his job before his political leanings, which is admirable, and I think he's done a good job so far. And he certainly has taken no guff, which is a quality that I appreciate.
I don't know how he's trying to make America healthy again, because as people know, I want to be a farmer and grow foods so I can put good food in people's bellies, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Who do you think banned the purple drank from the food snaps?
And I thank God
food
for
snaps.
that.
Food stamps from Snap, yeah.
If they just make that nationwide, I will be one happy man. Can't stand his voice though. So he gets he gets an A-. Okay.
Okay, but he's still nice.
He's on the nice list though.
That's 3 nices, Santa.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no, he's on the naughty list.
I talk to Joshy, I'm going to talk to him like this from now on.
All right, I've already had enough of that. Santa?
Hey, no, I'm sorry. He's on the naughty list. He's on the naughty list. It says here for brushing his teeth.
What's wrong? Why is that? That seems like a good thing to do.
Yeah, while ordering food at the counter at Taco Bell.
Why was he at Taco Bell? That doesn't seem like where he'd hang out.
That's exactly. That's why he's naughty.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bizarre.
That's fraud.
That's bizarre.
He's
behavior.
probably on the Taco Bell diet. That's what I'm thinking.
That brainworm is doing strange things to him.
Does RFK use fluoridated toothpaste, or is he? Do we have confirmation on that?
I don't know him personally. I could not tell you.
Okay. I'll have to investigate that. But okay, last one here. You mentioned Brian Koberger.
Brian Koberger.
Okay.
Idaho college murder.
So here we go. How is I'm done declaring the obvious here. How is Santa going to make Brian Koberger nice? You guys have any thoughts on what he might say?
I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to do anything.
No one's.
No.
What about his haircut? What about his?
Dude looks like he auditioned to play the Joker and lost.
He has Joker-like experience, so he's seen some stuff, I'm sure.
I'm sucking ass. Definitely saw something.
Batman, you got any creative take on what Santa's going to say here?
You want to know how he got these scars? No. No, he's definitely on the naughty list. Literal murderer. You don't get much worse than this without converting to Islam.
Okay. Okay, Santa, tell me how Brian Koberger is a nice guy who's getting presents from you.
Nice. What are you talking about? He murdered 4 people in cold blood. He's on the naughty list.
Finally.
At long last.
Sheesh.
Okay. Well, I'm glad there's at least a little bit of sanity toward the end there. Hey, Santa.
All right.
I know that you might be on a time crunch, so if you have to leave, you just say the word. But I think I have some people I think are misunderstood this year. A lot of people who, in public perception, people think they're naughty. I think maybe they're misunderstood. Maybe they're actually nice. You got time for those?
Sure.
Okay. Indian truck drivers. Let's start there.
It's a bipty.
Now, a lot of people think they're naughty because they've caused so many dangerous and deadly traffic accidents, Santa. I'm sure you've heard about those.
Yes, I have. I've served several of them.
watch out. I don't know if they have flying trucks yet, if they've reached that level. Just, watch when you're flying tomorrow night.
They're not carpets.
No, you got to watch out for them guys, especially over New York and California, especially out in California. Oh man, they're all over the roads out there. You got to be careful.
But what most people don't understand is that as dangerous as they are on the road, they're actually far less annoying there than they are when they answer your customer service call.
Bingo.
Because on the customer service line, you wish you were dead. They can't actually kill you, though. So I think that's like...
But you wish you could kill them at that point, I mean.
Yeah. And also, Indian truck drivers have removed more Haitians from this country than Joe Biden ever did.
Bingo.
So, are they actually nice, Santa?
That's a nice list.
Okay.
They also make great Bollywood movies. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Are the truck drivers also
the
movie
number
producers?
Of third worlders in this nation.
Okay, Nelson, the food stamps guy. Santa.
Oh, and fuck this dude.
A lot of people think that he is naughty for being a deadbeat, which is true. He is a deadbeat, but per the reporting, at least he's not a deadbeat dad. He doesn't have any kids to abandon. So relative to many of his peers, I don't think he's actually all that naughty.
What
do you think? Maybe nice? Maybe just one lump of coal? He doesn't deserve the whole pile of it.
It depends. I don't know. I really can't see the guy because the light shining off his forehead's blinding me.
He is a well-lit man that day. You're right.
Santa, if you're ever flying over his neighborhood and it's controlled by the Crips, we should have wear blue.
Make him wear big bright light down at him.
We can make him wear brown. I'll drop a few. We'll drop a few donut holes on him.
Oh, there you go. All right,
and
last
you wouldn't
one.
Be able to tell the difference.
Right on brand here. The KTLA Twitter account, Santa. A lot of people think the KTLA Twitter account is very naughty for tweeting it. Remember, they did that back in April. I'm sure your elves made note of that, Santa. The account just tweeted out the N-word. That was it.
Niners?
No, it's two
like
G's
the
in there.
49ers?
No, it's two G's. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that word.
It's definitely nice. Trust me. It has brought me great joy.
But what most people don't know is that on that day, that was April 11th, 2025, the Sesame Street letter of the day was actually N that day. So really, KTLA was just kind of following Elmo's direction. So I think Elmo is at least partially culpable for that. And it also turns out, a lot of people don't know, the KTLA social media guy had just finished a very long shift at his second job, Cinnabon.
You are a
And of course, when you work at Cinnabon, that will test the patience of even the best of us.
Trust me,
I'm
I
not
know
even sure
when
Jeanie
you're
from
serving
Target
Somalis.
could. Yes. So I think all things considered, the KTLA Twitter account deserves a little bit of a break, Santa. What do you think?
I would give him. I'll give him 6 out of 10.
Toward nice or naughty?
6 out of 10 reindeer poops.
So I guess mostly naughty?
We don't. Yeah, that's how we judge them a lot of times. It's that number of reindeer poops that I'll drop on them when I'm passing over.
But listen to this. It's personally made me happy. Doesn't that count for anything?
Well, we've had a lot of good jokes about it. Yeah.
I can make it 5 out of 10.
Oh, so he drops the score then.
Santa, are you able to stick around and hang out for the stream, or do you need to take off?
Unfortunately, I've got to go. I've got to give Maud a boner.
Okay.
Yeah, she was saying she wanted a boner, and I said, okay, I got her one, and I was going to give it to her tonight. You want to see it? Hold on, I got it right here.
Is it YouTube safe?
Let me get it out.
Josh, you might want to see it. I don't know about this.
So it's a 6-inch boner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she wanted this. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know if I trust her with a knife, but I'm going to go give her this. Anyway, I appreciate y'all having me on. But
all righty.
Ho, 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 ho. Y'all stay good, or else it'll be a 9 out of 10 night for you. Be careful.
All right, there he goes. That's Santa Claus. We will let him go, and I got to take a break. We'll come right back. We'll get into your super chats. Stand by.
Stand back and stand by. Ho, 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 ho. ho, ho, ho.
All right, as cheesy as that was, I'm glad I didn't lose that bit to the lost stream. I thought that was fun. Did it go on too long? Did you guys enjoy that?
I enjoyed it a lot. I'm pretty sure chat thinks I'm extra gay now. But...
that was fun. I thought.
I definitely think your capacity for cringe surpasses mine.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for contributing. Thank you for indulging me. All right. We got to get into some super chat though. So let's catch up with some chats and then we'll get back into the news.
You want to start with the ones you missed?
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. I'll start with the chats we missed on Sunday. Starting with Rumble, Yakko had a chat over on Rumble on Sunday, and I wasn't able to grab it. But Yakko, I know you did chat, and so I just want to say thank you for that. Appreciate you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Slappy Dangler.
That's a big game, man.
Do you like Slappy Danglers, Joshy?
That's for you, Josh. Yeah. Beat me to it.
Well, thank you, Slappy.
It depends on how long it is.
He says,
Motherfucker.
Cheers to another year of elite duct tape craftsmanship, Matt. No one holds a show together better than you. Well, I try, but sometimes I don't hold it together. Just know I'll be pounding madis.gay hard when things go wrong. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Slappy Dangler. Purpose of the Ages. Matt talking to himself brings back nostalgia of Beauty and the Beta. Remember when that bombshell would speak while we were all while we all in the audience simply saw lips and tits braiding hair? I think he's talking about when I didn't have your audio feed running and the broken stream on Sunday, so I was actually literally talking to myself for a moment until I realized that was an additional duct tape problem.
That reminds me of the time that you muted yourself and was talking for 2 minutes straight and just didn't realize it.
All things considered, 2 minutes is not that long of a run, you know? At least it wasn't a whole show.
Yeah.
But
there was one you did prior to that was longer than 2 minutes.
I've probably gone longer than that, yeah.
Yeah.
You only realized it when you noticed that a whole bunch of us had texted you.
Yeah.
Dude.
It might have been the same one.
Dude, muted, dude.
Yeah, because I've only done it a couple times, but it does happen for sure. And by the way, thanks to producer Tim, who, you know, one of the things we do, and I was in such a hurry on Sunday that I normally have Discord up so Tim can be in my ear if there's a tech problem. I was in such a hurry with everything going wrong, I wasn't even in the Discord. So Tim is usually on standby to let me know, but I foolishly forgot to join the Discord server too. Anyway, thank you, Purpose of the Ages.
I am not going to be niggardly.
Okay, over on YouTube from Sunday, we got AP Matt. I come to your channel because it's real. So when the duct tape rolls on, keep up the amazing work. Love you guys. Well, thanks for supporting the show. Merry Christmas. Also, Purpose of the Ages, he's over on YouTube also. Matt, Merry Christmas. Here's some fiat currency. Use it to pay a producer that'll keep your PC operating. Unfortunately, no producer could have saved that one. Unless they knew they were correctly able to diagnose the cable and unplug it. Nobody could have possibly achieved that.
Well, basically, you should just hire Tortuga.
I couldn't, well, he sent me a list of, I was able to tell him, here's the symptoms, and he sent me a list of possible causes, and I was like, wait a minute. I do have an old shitty HDMI cable that's not even doing anything, but is still plugged into the computer. I should try that. Yeah. It's been 15 years, sir. Clicking buttons to stream should be second nature for you by now. Tapping the sign, Santa and Satan have the same letters, and he is not Christian.
Don't make me tap the sign.
It's not. I haven't been streaming for 15 years, but I've been doing video content of some form for a while. You're right about that. The thing is, it's kind of like when you've been streaming for a long time, you know, people say like if you make more money, you get more problems too, where like the more you stream, the more you do it. Back when it was simpler, I didn't have so many buttons, and the more buttons there are to push, the more complicated it gets. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for your support for the show. Very much appreciated.
I love you.
That wasn't the one I wanted. I wanted the Trump one.
We love you. You're very special.
Speaking of duct tape.
As though to punctuate your point.
Long Dong John, Merry Duct Tape Miss, my Khanelsens. Khanelsen is an advanced term. Tortuga, Speaking of, this is from Sunday. Here are some shekels for a new PC. Haha, Merry Christmas, Batman and Joshy Boy. May your Christmas be full of God's blessings. Well, thank you for saving me from going out and buying a new PC and building it all, setting it all up to do this show, because thankfully, because of him, I didn't have to do that. He saved me hours and a lot of money. So, really appreciate that. Newbie of Death Review. If you can't duct tape this,
you are gay, LMAO.
Also says, if you can't read this,
you are gay, LMAO.
He's got me. Thanks for
I feel
supporting
like
the
that's
show.
directed more at me now.
Probably. Injured Guardian Deadwood Rant. Charlie Utter was a smart, well-armed, sharp-dressed serial entrepreneur who died in Panama in 1915. The film annoyed me. Did you guys watch Deadwood at all?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Great show about the Wild West town of Deadwood, South Dakota. And
it's fabulous, and it's incredibly well written, incredibly well acted, excellent cast. And you would never know that Garrett Dillahunt played 3 people in it. Most people don't notice that.
I didn't know that. Who did he play?
They were kind of minor characters, but he showed up 3 times.
Okay.
He was, I couldn't tell you the name.
It's been so long since I've watched it. I forget. There's a lot of characters in that show, but it's like semi-historically accurate, like any fictionalized portrayal of history. It's the characters are real, but they're not necessarily, the plot is not real. So what he's talking about with Charlie Utter, who was a friend of Wild Bill, in the Deadwood movie, Charlie Utter is murdered. But sorry for any spoilers for people who have not watched Deadwood, but you're behind the times. And in real life, he was not murdered. He didn't die. He left Deadwood. I think he went to Colorado. He went to Panama and died there.
It takes me a minute to just watch shows and stuff. I'm currently going through Blue Eye Samurai. That's a great show, but I forget what episode I'm on. I think I'm on episode 4 now.
Bullstip, just send a super sticker. Thanks for supporting the show. Appreciate that. Let me grab a couple off Rumble. Tank 1562. Matt, my nephew is a football recruit going to visit. Oh, he's going to Eastern Michigan. You know who goes to Eastern Michigan?
Who?
Kaniga.
That's who goes to.
Really?
Or is it Eastern Michigan? I think it is. Yeah, okay, yeah. His main hope is to meet the man himself, Noah.
Kaniga.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Well, if you get a connection to Noah, tell him he is not just welcome. We want him on this show at his earliest convenience. I don't know what kind of season he had. I don't know if he saw much playing time as a freshman, but all the best to your nephew in his football pursuits, and Merry Christmas. Lunachick, Maria Farmer isn't innocent in all this. She took nude photos of her 12 and 16-year-old sisters. She also introduced her sister to Epstein. She said he stole the photos. How did he know they even existed? That's a fair point. I don't know a lot about the history of Maria Farmer, and I didn't know that the photos were nude until you said that. I knew that based on the reporting that it was photos of a 12 and 16-year-old sister. Didn't know they were nude. And she could be a scumbag. Of course, I'm not saying she isn't, or I'm not saying she's a great person. However, even if she's a terrible person who perhaps even worked with Epstein in shady, bad ways, her allegations were out there in the mid-90s and were not really followed up on. And so both of those things can be true. And I'm glad you clarified that, because it's not my intent to say like, oh, what a hero. It's just to make the point that this information was known to law enforcement in 1996, and not just not a lot was done about it. Pretty much nothing was done about it, as far as I understand. But point taken. Thank you, Lunachick. You guys know anything about Maria Farmer?
Nope. It's first I'm hearing of it.
Okay. Well, over on, let's see, we'll get a few on YouTube. Long Dong John Matt, if you have those issues again tonight, I expect your next video to be one of you shooting that computer. That could be arranged, but it's still under warranty. It's I purchased it in September, so if I had to get it fixed, I would demand the manufacturer fix it. Appreciate it, Long Dong John. Ooga Booga Lou, Matt and I once made the naughty list. He slid down my chimney and unloaded his sack all over my stockings. Then I gave him a milk mustache, and he said I was his favorite. Ho, ho, ho. Okay.
Ho, 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 ho.
Merry Christmas indeed. Thank you,
Hey,
Ugo Boogaloo.
At least I make my comments natural. That was
God.
trying way too hard.
That takes me back. I have not had a super chat that overtly homosexual in some time. That is, you're really, you're
People
setting
tell
records
you're
here.
gay every single stream.
Dead Man Walkin'. Open the files in Adobe, copy and paste it into Word or a text file. The redaction bars will disappear. They didn't use redaction function or black out the text. The redactions are black highlight bars. That's embarrassing if that actually happened. And
Yeah.
producer Tim was messaging me about this earlier, and he's correct. Okay, that's a very terrible mistake for people whose job it is to do this correctly. How do we know that prior redactions have not been handled the same way and that information that's not supposed to be out there is readily out there because of this buffoonery?
We don't, and not only do we not, we have a pretty good idea that this has probably happened before, if it's happening now with something this high profile.
Aaron Vineyard, Merry Christmas, Adam. This is the day from which Christmas Eve comes. Make sure to celebrate with a McRib. I don't even know what's going on. Who's Adam? Like, are we talking the biblical Adam or like your friend Adam? The day from which Christmas Eve comes. Well, it is Christmas Eve.
Okay,
right
I
now.
get it. I get it.
I actually, can you explain the joke to me?
So Christmas Eve, and
Oh, I
then
just got
celebrate
it.
with a McRib. Adam, right?
That's too clever for me, man. I'm the idiot who plugs 15-year-old HDMI cables into a brand new PC. I can't handle this level of complexity. Orthodox Christian Andrew, Merry Gregorian Calendar Christmas, my riggers. I didn't know.
As well.
Does Christmas fall? I guess I don't know my calendars extremely
So-
well. Does it fall on different days under different calendars?
If I understand correctly, for Orthodoxy, they do follow a different calendar slightly. The Gregorian calendar is what we all follow because it make correct calculations. There used to be the Julian calendar, so holidays were set differently.
Okay.
So Christmas might not necessarily be on the date set on the Gregorian calendar. It might be on an actual different day, but that's my take on it.
Producer Tim, thank you, Orthodox Christian Andrew, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Producer Tim, this Sunday stream, or the Sunday stream, reminded me of my latest assessment for my radio journalism class. We had to run a live show for the teacher to listen to. The show didn't restream, so she couldn't receive or hear it. Luckily, we recorded it, but what a fucking disaster. Yeah, hey, it's embarrassing. I don't like for it to happen, but at least I think I could redact properly. If I don't succeed in this job, I think I could be, I guess, there's some kind of PDF
government
file.
worker.
Well, I hope I could be a government worker. But anyway, Tortuga, I think Joshy Boy might have the wrong idea of naughty and nice tonight. That seemed so. We didn't mean in the sexual sense.
You didn't?
I guess I should have clarified before we went live. Thank you, Tortuga. Saving the stream, saving my PC. Long Dong John, I never noticed how much Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like Sarah Jessica Parker until I saw that photo. Oh, let me pull that back. Sarah Jessica Parker? Let me pull that back up. I don't really see that.
Let me see.
Well, they're both a little horse-faced.
Sarah.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like she could crush an apple or a carrot for sure.
Oh my gosh, she's right. But that
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's one of those members of Congress that posts her cringe workout videos. Don't do that if you're in Congress. I mean, not a lot of people need to do that in general. But
Sarah Jessica Parker manages to be at least kind of attractive while being pretty horse-faced.
What?
I can't.
That's a worse take than Joshy on JD Vance's beard.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Reasonably
about a woman.
But Sarah Jessica Parker is reasonably attractive.
She looks like she could play Wish any day of the week.
You know what? Back in the day.
All right, fine. I'll grant you that one. Back in the day.
I'm gonna have to.
Well, I have to disagree with that.
Yeah, but you like aliens.
What do you mean? Are you talking about
their eyes have to be 7.5 miles apart for you to find them attractive.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes wide eyes can be attractive. All right, it's better than Sarah Jessica Parker. Anyway, the point I was making is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is like legit strong. You know, she's to the horsiness, she's like as strong as a horse. Maybe that's a factor. But Kaiser and Gilroy, hey, you KTLA Americans, happy holy day from the LaDonna legal team. Christmas dinner will be dogs with rice. Oh, yes. I forgot about that. If people don't remember, LaDonna, of course, of this fame.
It's not against the law, ho, fuck you.
But her racist tirade was about, she told that Asian lady, go eat your dog with some rice, bitch, is what she said. Me love you long time. All progressive pastors are on the permanent naughty list. Hey, I've got a progressive pastor story later in the show. It's part of the Hoax Hate. And this is like Hoax Hate Clue. Was it the progressive pastor? Was it the racial activist? Was it somebody else? We're going to try to dissect the case. Honest Joe Biden,
happy eat dog.
That's a happy holiday. My first apartment in California was an Asian landlord who had that kind of accent. And she asked me several times if I had pets. And I said, no cat, no dog. I don't have a cat or a dog. No cat, no dog. Okay. I understand. She had to tell me like 5 times. But then she told me that I looked like Prince William. You look like Prince William. It was, I considered that a compliment. We both lost our hair, I guess. We have that in common.
Well,
honest Joe Biden.
If she's immediately able to recognize Prince William, I wonder if she's from Hong Kong.
She might have been. I didn't inquire about her exact Asian heritage. But anyway, I said, if I am Prince William, can I have a dog here? Can I have a cat here? Would that change the rules? I should have asked. Honest Joe Biden, happy holidays, guys. I heard I'm not only on the naughty list this year. I heard I'm not on the naughty list this year. Ain't that swell? Speaking of naughty, has anyone seen Hunter? I drove him to a library in Portland, and I haven't heard from him since.
He touched young people.
Jesus.
Hunter was on Sean Ryan's show, did an interview this week, which maybe I'll have the time to check out. Say what you will about Hunter Biden. Definitely a piece of shit. Definitely on the naughty list. But Hunter Biden interviews, A+, watching and listening material. Gotta admit it.
That guy is so good at lying that he can actually replace his face and people will believe him.
Yeah.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
We will stop our chats there. We'll come back to them later in the show. Appreciate you guys who support the show. But there were some remaining thoughts. Get Marjorie Taylor Greene's face off my screen here. There was a couple things I want to say about Epstein before we move on quickly, and that is that the members of Congress, chiefly Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, are not at all satisfied with this release, even though there's supposedly more coming. But in their view, Pam Bondi and the Justice Department have not followed the law that they passed last month and that Trump signed. So both of them are pushing for various accountability actions against Pam Bondi. Ro Khanna says that he wants the House to move to impeach Pam Bondi.
The Justice Department's document dump this afternoon does not comply with Thomas Massie and my Epstein Transparency Act. They released one document from a New York grand jury of 119 pages, totally blacked out. This despite a federal judge ordering them to release that document. And our law requires them to explain redactions. There's not a single explanation for why that entire document was redacted. We have not seen the draft indictment that implicates other rich and powerful men who were on Epstein's rape island, who either watched the abuse of young girls or participated in the abuse of young girls and the sex trafficking. The reality is Pam Bondi has obfuscated for months. She first said there were no more documents to be seen. Now she's admitting and releasing hundreds of thousands of documents, but it is an incomplete release with too many redactions. Thomas Massie and I are exploring all options. It can be the impeachment of people at justice, inherent contempt, or referring for prosecution those who are obstructing justice. We will work with the survivors to demand the full release of these files, to demand justice for the Epstein class and accountability.
Now, at
Where
first,
the
when
fuck was this 4 years ago?
Well, fair point with the Democrats. Yeah. It can be true that transparency is good. There should be accountability for the lack of it. And it can also be true that these people, at least the Democrats, are political opportunists for sure.
Right. But the problem is I don't believe him. And I wonder if he's only saying it now because he knows everything's been destroyed. I trust him about as far as I can throw him.
Yeah, that's fair. And when he said we're going to impeach, my first thought was, okay, cool. Like, even if you had the votes in the House, which it's not clear that you do, you're going to go to the Senate and you're not going to get the vote to convict and remove her from office in the Senate. So what are we doing here? Another show? Of course, and then contempt. Talk about bringing contempt charges, which Massie is also talking about. Well, again, even if the House voted to do that, who's going to prosecute? It would go to the DOJ. The House can refer, and the DOJ would have to prosecute. They're not going to do that. Except you heard it mention in there this inherent contempt move, and I've never heard of this, but this is what Thomas Massie is talking about. Apparently, Congress does have the power to hold people in what's called inherent contempt. That means Congress has the power to have someone arrested by the House Sergeant at Arms and then punish them in the House chamber. This has not been done since 1935. There was an attempt to do it against, I think, Merrick Garland, but it didn't succeed. It was about the Biden tape that Merrick Garland wouldn't release. The Supreme Court has ruled that it's legal. Problem with this, though, like, even if you could prosecute from the House without the Justice Department, it's still going to require a majority House vote. And at least in this session of Congress, I don't see, you got the unanimous House vote for the Epstein files, except for one guy when like Trump gave the all clear and everybody suddenly switched. But do you think it's going to take all the Democrats plus what, 5, 6, however many Republicans to vote to impeach or hold Pam Bondi in inherent contempt? I don't see Republicans flipping on that issue, but I didn't know this was possible. So like it's more possible than I thought it is.
It's still not going to happen.
No, I don't think so. But
I wish it would.
I mean, more possible in this case is like bringing it from 0.001% likelihood to 0.01.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yes, we are.
Thank you, Lloyd Christmas.
He's a favorite on this show. All right. I mentioned this Seattle attack. Hold on. Let me cycle through all these photos here. Don't need to see their faces again. Where's my Seattle attack story? Right. This attack on an elderly woman in Seattle is absolutely insane. Of course, we've seen plenty of random violent and even deadly attacks on people in public in many cities this year. You had lighting people on fire on the train in New York City, and the one in Chicago also lighting a person on fire. You had the stabbing of Irina Zarutska on the train in Charlotte. This story out of Seattle is right on brand with all of those attacks. You have an old lady in Seattle hit in the eye with the reporting says a stick with a screw in it. The photo here, it's like a 2x2 with a nut and a bolt sticking out of the end of it is what this looks like. On December 5th, this bum named Fali Pea, who is a 42-year-old Seattle hobo with a history of attacking people. He approached this 75-year-old woman, Jeanette Markin, outside the King County courthouse. I almost said whorehouse. How dare I defame this grandma in that way? That's terrible. Outside the King County.
We know what the judges are like these days. You're not wrong.
Yeah. It is very unfortunately ironic that this happened right outside the courthouse, downtown Seattle. But she was picking up food, this 75-year-old woman, and surveillance video captured the moment. He approached her from behind with this screw and stick weapon, and for no apparent reason, just hit this old woman in the face with it, apparently right in the eye, blinding her in that eye. The video is not graphic, but what is notable about this video, in addition to just the attack, is you can hear police and emergency responders describe knowing exactly who this guy is and how he regularly attacks people.
75-year-old Jeanette Markin standing on the corner, and police say this is Fali Peya walking up with a stick in his hand when out of nowhere he attacks her. Jeanette is knocked to the ground. Bystanders take a picture of the suspect, then rush to help Jeanette. The full scope of what happened wasn't clear yet. Police arrested Peya a block away and found the weapon, this wooden board with a screw through the end of it. Police say that screw went through Jeanette's eye.
Who is this guy? Is he? He's a regular. He usually punches. I guess today he decides to escalate things way worse than his usual.
Where is he usually?
He's usually just up and down third.
As paramedics race her to the hospital, it becomes obvious police know Fali Peya well.
Do you have the suspect's ID?
Yeah, suspect's ID. He's being searched right now. Yeah. You know him?
Oh, he's notorious for random assaults on 3rd Street.
Court records show Peya had multiple prior convictions for assault, including stabbing someone 8 times at a party.
Yeah. So the rap sheet is more than just that, more than just the stabbing. But the one that is referencing, he stabbed 2 people in 2011, one of those victims 8 times, sentenced to 18 months of community custody, some sort of supervised release, you know? He stabbed someone 8 times that he didn't serve time in prison.
Yeah, so if a nigga like me did that, I'm going to jail for life.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Maybe not in Seattle. You might be fine. Tell them your opinion about strong jawlines.
No,
be like,
you just have to tell them. You just have to tell them that you hate white people, and then you will be fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm black. I'm maybe gay, and I hate the whites. I will not be imprisoned under any circumstances.
Then I proceed to do whatever I want.
But he also has a lot of recent assault charges. 1 in 2020, 4 in 2023, 1 in 2024. King County Jail says he's been booked 8 times this year. None of the arrests this year resulted in charges prior to this assault. There were also arrests for indecent exposure, drugs, property obstruction or property destruction, unlawful weapons use, malicious mischief. The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says that none of these arrests were referred to them for felony charges. The Seattle City Attorney's Office, which handles misdemeanor offenses, didn't immediately have information on this guy's cases.
You suck, fuck you.
For this attack, he's now charged with first-degree assault. He will have a competency hearing later this month. The victim's son ripped the police and local government officials in response. He said, as we heard in that video, he's a usual what? The son said, attacking people, civilians? What the hell is wrong with your system? There's also a GoFundMe for her that has raised $43,000.
What's wrong with our system is that they let your father out however many times.
Yeah.
No, he's talking. This is the victim's son, not the attacker's son.
Oh, I thought it was the. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
I don't know if the hobo has kids. He might.
Yeah.
But this is the old woman's son. Yeah.
Well, if he has kids, he's long since abandoned them. So I suppose I should have. I should have known that I was misinterpreting there.
Faulty assumption.
But really, it's stories like this that make me think we really need to bring back, dead or alive wanted posters.
Speaking of
bounty
dead
hunters.
What we need is a Alaskan Avenger against homeless people who attack.
He could get down to Seattle. He could probably make the trip.
Just find random hobos who are known for being violent and everything, and just beat the shit out of them.
I see your screw stick, and I raise you 1 hammer. Let's battle, sir.
Yeah. I would love to see that particular death match because I think it would end in about 4 seconds, and we all know who the winner would be.
Well, my only question is, are drugs allowed? They both have a history.
Hammer involved. I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right. All right.
There comes a point where overwhelming force doesn't, look, Rodney King wouldn't have been a thing if they just shot him in the fucking face.
Jeez. It had a lot of consequences. I don't know a lot about the what happened with Rodney King that led up to the beating. I forget what the exact circumstances were.
Basically, they tried everything they could to take him down non-lethally. They tased him multiple times. They had people crawling on him, trying to pin him to the ground. They did all this stuff, and people were calling it police brutality in spite of the fact that this guy was so high on PCP, he was fighting off all the cops.
Seems like the original George Floyd.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah, he absolutely was. And he is the original George Floyd in that he created a whole riot in which people needed to defend themselves in California, or
and thus the rooftop Koreans were born.
Yes, that is
or
where
called
they
to
came
duty.
from. It is one of the few places that was not burned to the ground in that particular area, and it was because there were Koreans there who were picking off. Joshy, would you do the honors?
Knigas?
Thank you. Who got too close?
Yeah.
So,
speaking of the
justified, man.
Speaking of the Call of Duty, did you guys hear that the Call of Duty creator died in the last few days?
No,
I have not.
Yeah, very unfortunate. So I forget what his name is.
The first one.
Yeah, the guy who's like behind the original Call of Duty, the guy who made the whole thing.
We love you. You're very special.
He probably died due to the fact that the latest Call of Duty came out. And he saw the abomination that it was.
What have they done to my creation? Yeah,
I imagine that he has not had his vision implemented for a very long time.
I'm sure he sold that intellectual property a long time ago. Yeah,
should have kept
rolling in his grave. Yeah.
But did you guys see what happened in Houston? Speaking of crime and not intervening with those who show a lot of warning signs. This is actually outside of Houston, Baytown, Texas. This is a suburb of Houston. There's a black high school student, 18-year-old Andre Matthews. He is accused of murdering his white classmate, 16-year-old Andrew Meismer, by stabbing him. This happened Wednesday, December 17th. And since this is the racial arrangement, a black murderer, it appears, and a white victim, just a local story. It's not national news. But according to prosecutors, Matthews and Meismer had a fight about a THC vape pen. Matthews, on the left here, had accused this other student, Andrew Meismer, of stealing his THC vape pen. And Matthews then followed Meismer into the bathroom, trying to get that vape pen. He searched his pockets for the vape pen. Instead, he found a pair of scissors in Andrew's pockets. So he took the scissors and, like a true gangster, he put the scissors in his waistband. The two continued in this confrontation, which moved from the bathroom to an empty classroom where Matthews apparently pulled the scissors and stabbed Meismer in the neck. A classmate saw or heard the attack and ran screaming for help. A teacher then rushed in to break up the fight, saw Matthews holding Meismer in a chokehold, blood coming from Meismer's neck. Meismer was airlifted to the hospital, died of his injuries.
So he didn't feel the guy going through his pockets?
One's 18 and one's 16, so they're probably... I don't think it was a sneaky attack. I think it was like I'm going to hold you and steal shit out of your pockets type thing. He's a real big Kniga, I think, relative to the other kid. Okay. But the reason the murder is especially controversial isn't just because of the racial component. It's because this murdering student, Andre Matthews, had a long history of disciplinary issues at the school, including assaults, bringing weapons to school. School administration never really intervened to discipline him or to separate him from other students. This is according to students who were protesting last week and into this week. Here's some local coverage of that.
Justice for Andrew! Justice for Andrew!
A constant stream of students stood in front of Sterling High School all day, demanding justice for their friend and classmate, Andrew Meismer.
He was a great guy. He didn't deserve this. And the school district is out here. They're not separating these kids that clearly aren't fit to be in a normal classroom environment and are a danger to other students.
Multiple students say Meismer was stabbed on Wednesday in science class after he got in a fight with the other student. But they also say the stabbing suspect has a long disciplinary history at school.
A few teachers were complaining about the student beforehand about all the assault charges and knives that he brought on campus, but nothing was ever done about it.
The students told us that despite repeated offenses, the 18-year-old suspected of stabbing Meismer was always allowed to return to school.
My main problem with them is that, it's just business as usual. Even though a child is dead, somebody's child died on their property, and it's like, come take your finals and go to school.
Justice for Andrew!
Students say Andrew Meismer and his family deserve so much more transparency.
We should note we have repeatedly asked the school district to speak publicly about this because clearly the kids want to hear something, and so far we have been met with silence.
Yeah. Students say that they even stopped them for at least for a little bit. The administration stopped them from creating a memorial site at the school flagpole. As you heard in the report there's little to nothing that the administration is saying publicly, but the district superintendent did release a statement expressing grief, condolences, all that. But he did appear to acknowledge this image, which is circulating through libs of TikTok. This would be the disciplinary record of Matthews, the student who is accused of this murder. And you see, this is just from last school year, a record that includes assaulting employees multiple times, verbal abuse, knife possession, fighting, sexual misconduct, insubordination, and more. How do we know this is his record? Because Andre Matthews himself put his record on social media, implicitly bragging, or he wanted the attention of having this awful school record that was not properly intervened upon. And he went on to murder a student. So that's where
nigga, that's a street cred right there.
Yes.
That makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, when can you start really feeling comfortable about charging a child as an adult?
Well, he's 18.
Treating
He's 18.
This kid's 18. Yeah,
he is 18.
He's now facing
murder
understood.
Charge. So I just go back to my wanted posters, bounty hunters shit.
Okay. I mean, they didn't have trouble finding him. My understanding is there was no manhunt. He just was arrested.
Yeah, but so if they put a wanted poster up for him and a bounty hunter found him first, this kid would still be alive.
You mean based on this record? So like going back in time when he was presumably 17 and doing all this stuff at school, your question about like when to treat him as an adult would definitely apply there too.
I would actually go back a little further to the biblical times where they actually took problem children and stoned them to death.
Well, I mean...
No, they stoned them to death.
I can't agree with that, but
that's what they did. That's what they were instructed to do.
Wouldn't it be better if it was just at least a little more stony?
A person can be so dangerous, regardless of whether or not they're 18 or 13, that they become a menace to society. They become a danger to everybody around them, and you need to treat them like the danger, not like the child that you think they are. Because when you fuck up that bad and you create somebody who has that kind of disciplinary record, and it's not just, oh, he went to the principal a bunch of times because he told the principal to go fuck himself. It's he assaulted people multiple times, and I believe, if I saw that correctly, with weapons, or did he just bring weapons?
I'm not clear if the assaults were with weapons, but he did bring weapons to campus.
Okay,
it's also the sexual,
but he was insulting employees, right?
Yeah.
This is not just like a bullying incident. This is a guy who is fundamentally destroying the environment around him. Put a bullet in him. Fuck it. Don't care if he's a minor.
So okay, so you chastised me for the stoning of the children and whatnot, but you want to put a bullet in the kid's head? What the fuck is this?
He was 18. You told me that.
Yeah, but still, neutralize the problem early.
All right.
When you say problem children, my first thought is, oh, the 6-year-old who won't stop shrieking or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm talking about on the same level as this kid. Where do you draw the line at? So let's say if a 6-year-old
exactly.
I'm not saying like, oh, he's just screaming all the time in class. No, I'm not talking about that. But I'm also was referring to the Old Testament back then. I don't know why they got stoned, but usually it's for like disobedience or something like that, or they became a real problem throughout the whole society. So that's what I was.
There's a difference between disobedience and societally just dysgenic behavior.
I was making a reference though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I missed it.
No, I was just making a reference. But yeah, if someone like that becomes just a menace to society, no matter how old they are, they do need to get taken care of.
Yeah.
I would say the parents too, because obviously they didn't do anything about this.
Thank you for this
you mean
philosophy lesson here. Appreciate it.
Mama needs to get disciplined.
You can't find Papa.
Papa bailed
he went out for milk and cigarettes 14 years ago and never came back.
He left with another hoe. That's what happened right there.
Let me ask you guys about some potential tinfoil. Now, you're both familiar, I assume, with Steve Baker, the Blaze reporter, who was behind that Blaze report in early November that identified that lesbian Capitol Police officer as the the pipe bomber based on a gate analysis. You remember this report?
Yep.
Okay, that report, of course, the Blaze retracted it when Brian Cole Jr. was arrested on December 4th, and we haven't heard, at least I haven't, much more out of Steve Baker ever since. And Steve Baker's a well-established reporter with a lot of reporting on January 6th. He got a misdemeanor charge for his activities on January 6th, as I recall. But the tinfoil is this. Reported over the weekend, our friend and colleague Steve Baker is currently in an ICU with acute heart failure. Please pray. This according to Steve Deese. And this was posted this morning that Steve Baker is recovering after a serious heart procedure yesterday. Long-term prognosis good, but a long recovery in front of him. Supposedly he'll have a definitive statement out soon. Could be out now. I haven't checked in the last couple hours. Now, I didn't really buy that Blaze report, as we've discussed on this stream many times. The evidence was too flimsy, but what an odd series of coincidences here. After years of no leads on the pipe bomber, at least no public leads, Steve Baker at the Blaze claims to have identified the person. Then under a month later, a totally different guy is arrested suddenly by the FBI. They've pieced it all together. They've figured it out, even though there were no clues about it for years and years and years. And then right after that, Steve Baker has heart failure and is hospitalized. Now, I don't know how old Steve Baker is. Based on photos of him, he's not a young man. Older people, of course, have heart problems. Maybe the heart problems were brought on by the stress of having a report discredited, or perhaps there's a defamation lawsuit in the works, or maybe his relationship with his employer at the Blaze, maybe that's threatened. I don't know. You could have stress causing heart failure for all sorts of reasons. It's not that crazy for something like that to happen. But in combination with all the other bizarre events about the pipe bomber, doesn't this seem a little odd? Or am I looking too far into it?
Without knowing anything beyond what you've just said, well, the CIA has caused heart attacks before. Let's put it that way.
They have a button.
Now, do I actually believe that's the case? I don't know. You're going to have to flip a coin. I don't know.
I think it's just sheer coincidence.
That's I was all like the coincidence already that the second that a report comes out identifying this person, the FBI has figured it out. Well, we didn't have anything to say until now. Yeah, it was like that was already a big coincidence. And now this guy's like almost on his deathbed.
But he was born in 1968. So
you've confirmed that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's that would make him what? I'm as bad at math on the spot as I am at having updated cables for my PC. 1968, he would have been 50. He would have been... So he's not even 60 yet. Somebody do the math for me.
57 years old.
57, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not even 60 yet. He's not young, but he's not old either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on him. Of course, all the best to Steve Baker and his family, hoping for a quick recovery. I did want to mention a little bit of redemption, not redemption, maybe justice. I don't know. Well, a little bit of recognition for Jeanie, the Target worker from Chico, California. Last we streamed successfully on Wednesday. We were talking about this woman. But if you didn't see, recall local nurse Michaela Ponce confronted her for wearing a supposedly racist Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt at work. This was the moment in case you missed it.
Why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not a
red shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
Sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go get your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
That's your opinion.
Insane.
Have a nice day.
Piece of shit.
You suck. I hope Trump deports you.
She's the literal Karen. You need to go get your manager right now.
I don't think she got deported yet, but go ahead, Batman.
I don't know if it's been said already. I'm sure it has been, but what an incredible display of tolerance from that lady.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really, just okay, yeah, you do you. Have a nice day. While she's swearing at you and calling you all kinds of names and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I realize that it's, on the one hand, it's I think easier to do that when you're like, oh, corporate's going to want me to react a certain way. But she showed up there in the first place wearing that shirt in California. She knew what was going to happen. I think she knew that was coming, and she still was able to just be like,
yeah,
okay, you do you. Bye.
That's what I was saying. She needs to work at Cinnabon. She has the patience to do it. If anybody could, Jeanie from Target could.
No, she needs to be a bounty hunter.
Michaela Ponce is now apologizing. She deactivated all her social media. She made a post that reads in part, I want to directly apologize to Jeanie. I'm truly sorry for approaching you at your workplace and putting you in an uncomfortable and unfair position. You did not deserve that. My behavior was wrong. There was a lot of pressure on her employer, Enloe Health in Chico, to fire her. Now, as far as I've seen, she's not yet fired, unless I've missed that information in the last couple of days here. But Jeanie actually...
I'm sorry. Did the accuser, the person who made that video, actually apologize for it?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Because she got ripped to shreds. And there was a big push to, she's a nurse, by the way.
New era.
Yeah, she's a nurse. So
era. Based on her never have happened 10 years ago.
Maybe not. Yeah.
The issue I have with this though is that the apology, even though she was forced to do it, which is good, right? It still doesn't feel genuine because a sincere
it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if it's genuine. The fact that it had to happen, the fact that it happened at all is an incredible indicator of the fact that culture is shifting, right?
Yeah. If she,
because I mean, you accused anybody of racism, but anywhere between 2015 and 2023, I would say. And you were going to see backtracks and people apologizing for shit they never should have apologized for.
About that,
and all of this, right? Now it's the accuser who's apologizing, and that is a great step forward.
It is.
There wasn't even
time,
a statement from. Yeah, there wasn't even a statement from Target. They just didn't say nothing at all.
I don't think Target has said anything. You're right. I've not seen that, at least.
All right. So I'll take your point.
I'll remind everyone that the accuser there, the woman we see on the screen, Michaela Ponce, she's a nurse at a local hospital. So, she takes care of the elderly and treats them this way.
Really?
And so there was a ton of pressure to fire her, and maybe that'll happen, maybe not. I'm not sure what's going on there. But Jeanie, being a very kind woman, she says she actually doesn't want that. She doesn't think it would be right for this woman, the woman that confronted her, to lose her job.
I know people are calling for her to be fired for this. Do you think that that's right? Would you like that to happen?
No, I don't think that's right. Like, one saying I have is, two wrongs don't make a right. She wronged me, but I don't want to wrong her, or I don't want her wrong, because it's not going to make it right. I mean, that was her opinion. But she's the one that put it on Facebook, or put it on that. So, but I really wouldn't want to see somebody lose their job over it.
So yet another moment of Jeanie patience. However, tell me what you think about this. Two wrongs don't make a right is not actually justice. We administer punishment all the time for justice. Now we can talk about what justice is in this setting, and maybe firing is too strong of a punishment. It might be inappropriate justice, but I actually don't think she's right that two wrongs don't make it. If that were true to the full extent, then there's no such thing as punishment for crime, which I'm sure Jeanie would agree with, but I don't, as nice as she's being, I'm not sure I agree with her premise, actually.
Well, I think the idea that she's trying to bring here is that, you know what, maybe I'm reading too much into it because I like this lady, but the interpretation that I took from it, again, could be completely wrong, is that this is already blown up in her face. Why lose her job over it too? Right? Yeah. She's already seen justice done.
Yeah, the punishment is already sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and plus,
now, having said that, I think the bitch should be fired, and she should have to contemplate what the consequences would be for approaching somebody in public and yelling at them about their political beliefs in the future, right?
Well, see, but then you're starting to tread on somebody's freedom of speech, right? Because we're always bitching about that, right? Because imagine if the shoe was on the other foot.
Yeah, Batman's converted.
The shoe has been on the other foot for a decade, motherfucker. We've been here.
But still, I'm going to hold on to the principles here. I mean, I don't care if somebody yells at me and calls me the N-word or whatever like that, but it was stupid of her to put it on social media.
What if they did it to you and they were a coworker and they meant it? They hated you.
That's on them, man.
I think it's...
Yeah, you don't think that that's totally inappropriate for a work environment?
The thing, too, I would separate, because it's not... Her perspective is stupid. Oh, Charlie Kirk's a racist, you know? How could you not think that?
Are you fucking stupid?
It also depends on the person. Right?
It's not just about the perspective as far as the free speech thing here. It's not about her opinion, as dumb as her opinion is. It's about confronting and harassing an old woman at work for her opinion. Like, you make the free speech argument in defense of Jeanie, I think. Like, why should Jeanie be harassed at work because she wore a shirt that is not to this woman's liking, you know?
Well, it would be free speech for her to wear the shirt, and then free speech for that woman to go and harangue her about it, even though she's messing with somebody who's at work and, you know, just generally being a huge cunt about it. But if you want to do that, which is fine. I mean, there's an extent to which I agree that, you know, both things should be permitted. If you want to do that, then, like, do you just want these confrontations to happen all the time?
Don't they already happen all the time?
Yeah, they do. Shouldn't we be trying to make society better than that?
Better, yes. But through what method?
Right. And I'm not saying that I want either of these people silenced necessarily, but what we need to do is create a better culture. A culture where...
Like, for example, ostracized, like she was already ostracized and raked through the coals, right? I'm good. I'm fine with I'm fine with public shaming and whatnot. I'm good with that. But
I think we need way more than that.
Yeah.
I think we need to publicize not only shame, but we need to do things like publicize execution again. Because people need to understand that
stone the unruly high school bullets for the unruly high school kids.
out of sight and out of mind for far too long.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
But I will. Yeah.
I want to run this by you guys because this is seriously something that I've been thinking about.
Go ahead.
Do you think that we should bring back public executions?
Oh yeah.
We should start hanging people again, particularly for things like sedition and treason.
Yeah.
I am a recent convert to pro-death penalty, being formerly anti, though, of course, I want a lot of limitations and restrictions on it, as we've discussed many times.
I mean, of course, but if you want something like that to stop, sometimes you do have to make examples out of people.
Yeah, I get it. Really comes down to what is your philosophy of the death penalty? Is it pure totally justice, as in this act of taking that life is a just action in response to what that life did previously, presuming taking someone else's life or whatever? Is it just about justice for that person, or is there a deterrent factor that is a part of that justice? So if you, depending on where you go there, if it's deterrent, like part of this execution, the reason we do it is to deter future actions that are heinous like this, then I see the argument for public display.
Well, yeah, that would be that would be my reasoning for public executions is to deter.
Okay.
And I'm even willing to make the how do I put this? To make the bar that you have to meet in order to be publicly executed pretty high. Like you have to have killed multiple people.
You have to have put the toilet paper on.
Truly heinous act. Right?
I will go a step further. You also no, go ahead.
No, you go.
Like not only just the heinous crime, right? If you're particularly unrepentant as well.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be a factor.
Yeah.
So
this
would also include things like sedition and treason, which I think we've seen a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of these
this would give us the opportunity to have our, little goofy French Revolution moment where we guillotine people and all that. No, I'm kidding.
I've got a moment of treason for you to consider in just a moment.
Okay.
No, is that right? But
yeah.
Either way, I realize I've gone way off topic here. I don't think that this nurse lady should be executed by any means. But
you pussy.
I realize I've driven us far off the path. But
yeah. Okay. Anyway, do you have a closing thought? Otherwise, I got a little bit more on Jeanie.
Ultimately, I think that this lady should be fired from her job because she mistreats elderly people, right? And that's not just punishment, it is justice because she is mistreating elderly people, right? This is why a law code where it's like only this punishment can happen for this crime, blah, 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 often doesn't do enough or does too much.
Well, whether Michaela ends up working as a nurse again, we shall see. You know, Jeanie probably won't work at Target anymore because she now has $290,000 on Give, Send, Go. Speaking of the way these things have changed, you know, you call a Somali the N-word at the park in Minnesota, your life has changed and you're rich. You get accosted for your Charlie Kirk shirt, you make over $250,000. But good for her. You know, I'm glad that obviously she's a woman of her age is working at Target for a reason. You know, she's not there for fun. I guarantee you that. She's not, like, she's not a college kid that's trying to move from A to B or whatever. This is a woman who I'm sure is going to have very good use for this money, and I'm glad to see her get it. But
this was a dispute that I kind of had with Chat a while ago, right? She lives in California, right?
Chico, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So she might need the money, but you also have old people who kind of work because they get bored. And they just want something to do.
Maybe she's that. I don't know. Well, I guess I don't know for sure. I'm guessing if she could be retired, she would be.
Yeah, I've worked with a guy who can be retired, but the reason why he started going back to work as a janitor is because he got bored.
I heard people say that her husband had died. Now, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I had heard that claimed. But that TV interview where she talked about not wanting the woman who accosted her fired, that wasn't her only appearance. She also surprised everyone at Turning Point's AmericaFest in Phoenix over the weekend.
What is that music? The most wonderful time. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. And wearing the famous Charlie Kirk red Target shirt.
Jeanie, how did it feel to be in that moment, to have someone shove a camera in your face, to use horrific language, and film you simply for wearing a shirt of a man you support?
First of all, I thought she was just taking a picture. I didn't know till the next day that it was videoed. But I don't know. I just was watching her, looking at her, and I was kind of thinking, oh my. But what you saw is me. It's me.
She also got to meet Erica Kirk during the appearance as well, it looks like. But all right. I promised you good for Jeanie. Glad to see it. I promised you an episode of treason. And maybe this is a way things are changing too, Batman. I got to move quickly because I want to leave plenty of time for Hoax Hate. So I just got a few more stories. We'll get into Hoax Hate. But
yes, let me hear this.
A potentially rare moment of accountability. I think everybody remembers that Wisconsin judge Hannah Dugan, who helped an illegal immigrant escape her courthouse in Milwaukee when ICE showed up to arrest him. That was April. On Thursday, a jury convicted her on a charge of obstructing federal agents. Jurors deliberated for 6 hours. They also acquitted her. So convicted on a felony charge, acquitted on a related misdemeanor charge. But she now faces up to 5 years in prison. Not yet sentenced, no sentencing date scheduled just yet. She is a first-time offender, so it's unlikely that she's going to spend a bunch of time in prison, if any. But under Wisconsin law, she is also now banned from holding public office. But speaking of quasi-treasonous acts, here's your judge. And I mean, some might debate it, but she definitely
She helped an enemy of the United States.
Yeah, you could make the case.
The definition of treason.
And not just that, like in knowing violation of United States law.
Yeah, that's treason.
It wasn't like she just gave him a sandwich because he said he was hungry or something like that. But yeah,
I'll tie the rope. Let's get this done.
Like for all we know, that guy could be like, I don't know, one of those human traffickers for all we know, and she just helped him escape.
Well, I assume there's a reason. Excuse me, ICE is going after the guy beyond just he's here unlawfully. I bet he did some stuff. I forget about his exact case, but he probably did some stuff to deserve it.
Given the number of people who have invaded this country at this point, anybody who continues to do so should be considered an enemy of the United States. Because if you
enter a country,
the American people,
if you enter not by accident, knowingly in violation of a country's laws, and you don't care that you violate them. I mean, I don't know if that's the same as charging with a shield and a sword in the old days, but it is a form of invasion if you knowingly do it.
You know, if you want to think about the old days, there are millions of people who have busted through our borders over the last, only 4 years, not to count all of the decades prior to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there were 200,000 people on the borders of the Roman Empire, they'd have considered that a significant threat. 200,000. Not how many millions now?
Nobody knows.
Tens of millions.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Okay. Cut that number down to a tiny percentage of what it was, and the Romans would have come out and fucked you up.
No, they wouldn't have
they would have killed every single one of you, and the ones they didn't kill, they would have enslaved.
But the thing is, though, you even had nations back then that would look for any excuse to invade another. So let's say you just send 10 French people to England, and they were just looking for any excuse to invade. It's like, hey, look, they sent foreign agents to invade our country. Let's kill them, and let's go invade their country and take over. Stuff like that.
Okay. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of your bloodlust. I got to move through these stories quickly. Did you guys see the
bloodlust? It's an acknowledgement of the fact that we have been wronged.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You guys see the outgoing DC police chief?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is hilarious.
This is a Kaniga you'll appreciate, Joshy. Pamela Smith has resigned after allegations that she rigged crime data in D.C. A House committee released a report last Sunday, so a week back from Sunday, concluding that she had manipulated D.C. crime numbers to make violent crime rates look lower than they are. The investigation came after a whistleblower made these accusations. The method of manipulation was allegedly pressuring police commanders to change crime classifications, to change the numbers to make DC look safer than it actually is. But due to the controversy, Pamela Smith is leaving the office of chief of police. But on her way out, she gave an Idiocracy-style speech in which she said to her haters, F you.
Let's be really clear about one thing. Never will I ever compromise my integrity for a few crime numbers. I said it and it's on the record. Never would I compromise my love for God, the faith that I had in this city. Never would I compromise my integrity. Never would I compromise 28 years in law enforcement for a few folk who couldn't stand to be held accountable. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again. So I'm going to the Bible when I say this to my haters.
Oh, my Lord.
F you. The same folks who said in that report that they changed their numbers, and I did not. The report is very clear. I did not direct anyone. You should investigate those folks.
You sound like a hysterical, bleeping, snowflake, lesbo bleep.
Listen, I know I bully you Protestants a lot, but this is the result of Protestantism.
You saying I share a church with that lady?
Yes. If you're a Protestant, this is the result.
You think she goes to church? Really?
That was a biblical
people like
quote.
that do actually go to church who are like that. Yes, I do believe that.
I think that's
they may not
chapter
be Christian,
3,
but
verse
they do go to
2 in the
church.
book of Kaniga. That's biblical. To my haters, F you, clap, clap.
And, no, you should read Nelson chapter 1, verse 6.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
That one might be biblical too.
That's some bull.
But I will remind everyone that lady was in charge of law enforcement for our nation's capital. I had no idea. I've never heard her talk before. And the thing is, the replacement, whoever that is, somehow going to be worse. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
We'll find out soon.
100%.
I don't even know who it is. Probably named already. I don't know who it's going to be, but someone.
How is the chief of police of DC chosen? I don't know.
I don't know if that's mayor appointed. I don't know. I don't know.
If it's mayor appointed, the person's going to be even worse.
Yeah, guaranteed.
If there's
if they vote on it, it's going to be worse. If it's DC picking it, it's going to be worse.
It's going to be a trans guy who's fat.
Fat too?
Yes.
Not even in shape? All right.
Trans, black, wheelchair bound, bisexual, fagaholic. I don't know.
All right. Really quickly here, there was a funny term that came out of the fraud in Minnesota. Of course, we've been following that for weeks and months. Every time you check in on the story, the number gets bigger. Was it $1 billion in fraud? Was it $1 trillion in fraud? Who knows?
$200 billion.
Nobody knows what the official accounting is. The federal prosecutor in Minnesota, Joseph Thompson, who has looked at a lot of these Somali cases, he announced some new charges this week and described what he's calling fraud tourism. Okay. This case involves 2 guys from Philadelphia who apparently defrauded the state of Minnesota after friends told them that public welfare programs in Minnesota present a good opportunity to make money. So these guys created a Medicaid fraud scheme under the state's Medicaid housing program, which has been defrauded by many of the Somalis as well. Here's the kicker in the story, though. I thought, okay, they went to fraud tourism implies they traveled. But then I read down in the story, and it describes what these guys did. They submitted up to $3.5 million in fake and inflated bills for Medicaid reimbursements after they set up a company intended to provide housing and other services to individuals who qualified for the program. They allegedly fleeced the housing program in Minnesota despite, quote, living on the other side of the country and having no network in or connections to Minnesota or its communities. So they did this remotely, as far as I understand. They did not, in fact, do acts of tourism. They stayed in the Philadelphia area and were able to do this. So in honor of Tim Wall's retardation, since the fraudsters work remotely, we all need a remote way of calling Tim Walls retarded at his home.
The R word. This is shameful.
Remember the "he will not divide us" thing, where you could go to the stream and be broadcast to anybody?
Yeah.
You need that. We need a way where it'd be like the reverse of that. You can connect online and everybody gets a turn to connect to a screen in Tim Wall's home and call him retarded. Can we get that? If the fraud is remote, the retard call should be remote, I think.
We should all just start mailing him snail mail. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
I think you can send mail to the governor's mansion and or office in St. Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, let's put together a campaign. Let's do this. Let's all mail him. You are retarded in letters.
You can become pen pals. That's the good kind of Tim Wall's friend, the pen pals, not the school shooter, just the pen pal. All right. Lastly, before I get into this hoax hate case here, we've had some good episodes of accountability. This is one of those stories where it's like, oh, the conspiracy theory was kind of true. Are we going to do something about that? No, of course, I guess not. Okay. Fulton County, Georgia, of course, Atlanta. They've acknowledged that some 300,000 ballots were improperly counted in the 2020 election. Joe Biden, of course, won Georgia by about 12,000 votes, 0.25%. That was the official result, at least. On December 9th, the Georgia State Election Board had a hearing in a case brought by a guy named David Cross, David Cross is an actor, right? It's not that guy. It's a local election integrity activist. Cross alleged that Fulton County violated Georgia law in its handling of early voting in 2020. counting these 300,000 plus ballots, even though polling workers had not signed off on the vote tabulation tapes as part of the certification process. So, as quoted from the reporting here, Ann Brumbaugh, attorney for the Fulton County Board of Registration and Elections, told the SEB, this Election Oversight Board, in the hearing that while she has, quote, not seen the tapes herself, the county, quote, does not dispute that the tapes were not signed. She also said it was a violation of the rule. We, since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and a new standard operating procedure. And since then, training has been enhanced, but we don't dispute the allegation from the 2020 election, which again applies to some 300,000 votes. The allegation here is not that the votes were fraudulent, but that the votes did not follow proper procedure. If they don't follow proper procedure, are they valid? The answer can't be yes, and yet they are, and Joe Biden's presidency happened. And I get it. Georgia was not the determining factor in 2020. It could have flipped, and based on the results elsewhere, Joe Biden still would have been the president with the most votes in the history of the country.
How many times did this happen?
Yeah, and where did it happen? In very convenient spots like Fulton County, Georgia. Exactly where it had to happen. Man, that talk about admissions. Like, yeah, we definitely didn't follow the law in the way that
cheated.
You know, I think at this point, regardless of whether or not we have all of the collated evidence laid out in front of us, I think everyone with more than 3 brain cells to rub together knows that the election was not legitimate. The 2020
you can say that on YouTube
was
now.
Stolen. Yeah, I know.
You can get away with it.
That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know
okay,
about calling for
that's not why I
hangings
said
and
it,
bullets, but you can definitely do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say again?
I said I don't know about calling for bullets and hangings, but you can definitely dispute the 2020 election results if you want.
You can absolutely call for the just execution through the system of people who have done wrongs.
Well, I guess we're going to test that. With YouTube's record, that not only is that
if YouTube is going to cut you off, it's not going to be because I called somebody.
No, it's funny. It's like whenever you break their official rules, like you'll get demonetized or punished otherwise for like bullshit that doesn't make any sense. Like you say you have a cure for coronavirus when you're clearly joking. But there have been many instances of this stream and all its many iterations where outright calls to violence have happened. And YouTube says, great, love it, full ads, Coca-Cola, Verizon, whatever. They all, I'm sure they're very thrilled. Yeah.
So that's because that was on a political.
You know, I can call for the just execution of people who have done heinous crimes, and they will ban you for it.
Maybe.
But you can call for the heads on pikes, like certain people have done in the past. You can call for heads on pikes, and everything's fine.
Those episodes have been monetized. Can confirm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk about this hoax hate case from my neck of the woods because I really want to figure out who is in fact responsible.
And now the nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. Think they'll notice?
Nazi vandalism just down the interstate from me, Billings, Montana. And at first, this looked like just a generic hoax hate case, self-inflicted progressive church graffiti. That's what I thought. And it might be that. But there are wrinkles here. And now it's a whodunit. I don't know who's responsible. Was it the progressive female pastor? Was it the allied gays? Was it the racial activist who wants to bring attention to his own likely hoax hate? Well, it all starts last Saturday, December 13th, when someone spray painted swastikas and slurs on the side of a church building.
I'm just really sad that somebody
would be filled with so much hate that they feel the need to deface a church of all places.
Pastor Amy
Those
Carter
glasses.
came to her loving place of worship and saw this disturbing sight. 6 swastikas and a slur spray painted in red paint.
I'm assuming they're targeting us because of that stance that we've taken.
She tells me the church has been victim to similar hate crimes in the past. Just last week, a pride flag with the message, "God is still speaking," was torn down. She believes it's because the church is accepting of the LGBTQ community.
We are very progressive in our understanding of how we live out our faith.
Acts like this, the intent for this kind of vandalism and this kind of hate crime is to force people back into the closet, to make people hide,
This guy's gay.
to make people afraid.
Fortunately, there's someone
He's a
who
raging
understands the pain and fear the Mayflower is experiencing. Marcus Fry, the board president for
Look how
406
gay.
Pride.
This isn't an isolated incident, unfortunately, in Billings.
Oh my
A couple
God.
years ago here at First Congregational Church, we had one of our pride flags torn down.
Faggot.
That guy has sucked more dicks than I joke about. Like, seriously.
Wow, that's a lot. Now I looked.
That must
for
be
an-
Lutheran.
I looked for an uncensored image of what the graffiti is. It's swastikas, clearly. You can see them cleaning them off here. I wanted to know what the slurs were, but I couldn't find an uncensored image, so I have no idea what the slurs are. Billings Police Department has said they've pledged they will find the person responsible. The police chief there says to the person or people accountable for this hateful act, we will find you, and you will be held fully accountable under the law. Hate-fueled crimes are not expressions of free speech. They are deliberate attempts to threaten and divide. We will not allow that to stand.
What a fucking horrible interpretation of the law. No,
what do
that
you
should
mean?
not have been done because it was vandalism, not because it was hate-fueled bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
First of all, here's the other problem that I have. So, if it's swastikas and everything, why swastikas? Weren't Nazis technically Christian? I wouldn't count them as Christian, but
Well, I guess the Nazis don't like what they view as a betrayal of Christianity here, presumably.
I wouldn't either. I mean, if there's one thing that I kind of hate more than traitors and people who commit acts of treason is heretics.
Well,
That
it
bitch
looks
needs
like
to be
maybe
burned
some
at
of
a
that is
stake.
going on at this church, but we're now more than a week later, and there are no arrests, no suspects named, apparently no leads, because this wasn't a hate-fueled crime like you're talking about, Batman. It's almost certainly a hoax. But by whom? Originally, I thought, that pastor looks like she would draw attention to her church in this way. Also, that gay activist allied with them looks like he would draw attention to his organization in this way. But here's the wrinkle. A racial activist has now joined the story because he has a Black Lives Matter mural on his fence in another part of Billings, and he says it was vandalized with swastikas back in May, but nobody cared. So he's reviving his story by connecting it to the church and now trying to raise money on GoFundMe.
It's a wall full of many colors.
I just wanted to do something that sort of made a statement.
That statement, social injustice issues.
I just had to get the community to talk and discuss important issues that were happening.
It was a conversation Ben Sherman wanted to create. So he handed his nephew a paintbrush.
He was 14 at the time and just gave him an open canvas. He's the one that designed everything.
And what you're looking at here is a statement about cultural diversity.
I believe that the Hands Up Don't Shoot was one of the first Black Lives movements.
But this mural was defaced in the spring.
It was just upsetting that people in our community would do this.
With swastikas and what Ben says are fake bullet holes.
I think it was very upsetting to see it. I mean, hurtful. I think, and also just scary that people in our community would be wanting to sort of show that kind of hatred out in public.
Ben and Tiffany both knew that something might happen to this mural, whether that's vandalism or graffiti, but it comes as a surprise as it was untouched for the past 5 years. When just a few days ago, the Mayflower Congregational Church was vandalized, Ben says this damage is pointing to something bigger.
I think that with the community and everything that's happening with the church too, that it's become a bigger thing than just an incident here at our house.
Ben decided to leave the damage untouched for now. He wants the community to see what he fears is a growing problem.
Just wanting to make sure that people see that it's not just an isolated incident over there, that it's potentially happening elsewhere as well.
It never happened. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication.
You know what
this is in
to see?
Billings, Montana, correct? Like,
Yes.
not really all that far from where you are.
No, Billings is a very conservative town and county too. Yeah.
I would love to see them to have a bunch of infidels move into that neighborhood specifically, build a mosque right next to that gay church, and just have them walk by and just start hurling insults and everything. He says, "You're going to hell."
Allahu
We need to
Akbar,
move our
faggots.
entire Somali community
into
that town.
To that town right
and
there.
watch what happens.
Just head west down I-90. They'll get there. Yeah. So to be clear on what's going on here, this guy says someone swastika'd his stupid Black Lives Matter Native solidarity.
That's not a swastika.
Yeah, it does. The angle is incorrect, although the orientation is right. But
What is so hard about getting the angle right?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, when you don't get the angle right, it's actually a Buddhist symbol.
Does the Buddhist one face the other way? I forget. I don't remember.
It's oriented, so the swastika is like kind of like a diamond.
Yeah.
The Buddhist symbol is like a square.
Yeah. Okay. But this guy says he got, air quotes, swastika'd back in May and nothing really happened. So now, he's not saying that someone swastika'd his fence at the same time. He's saying it happened in May, but now there's this thing at the Mayflower Church. So please give me money to fix my fence from graffiti from May that nobody really cared about. But clearly it must have something to do with the Mayflower Church, even though that's more than half a year later. And so I'm really confused here about who done it. Was it the progressive female pastor? Was it the gays? Was it the racial activist? Or are they all on a team together to do this? What do you think?
Everyone here is fags. I don't care.
Joshy?
That church needs to be burnt down.
No, metaphorically.
Oh, in Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Okay.
All right.
Did you do this? Did you drive over to Billings to do it?
When I drive over to Billings to do it?
Now, well, you're saying it needs to be punished.
Yes.
Did you do the swastikas?
Oh, well, the problem is I will orient them correctly.
Oh, okay. So you're cleared. Now, my vote is the activist, as in the last guy, the racial activist guy, the guy with the fence. Because this revival of the church, as far as I've seen, isn't even trying to raise money off of this. And this revival of his GoFundMe, to me, is so bizarre and not related and opportunistic that I have to think he has something to do with the church swastikas. I'm pointing my curiosity toward him. You think that's the correct direction, or am I off?
I think everybody is involved in their own way.
Well,
I think that because for the church, I think people are getting tired of these gay little churches popping up everywhere, and they're getting sick of it. I go to church to reach the message of the Lord.
Get a load of how gay this church is, though, because it's not just the rainbow flag. All right, I was looking at this church to try to get some information. This is from last year. They had a blessing of the solar panels at the church.
No, they are. Gay. All right, look.
What the fuck?
So here's the thing, okay? Let me explain something to y'all. Since you said that, I'm starting to think that these guys are Catholics because the Pope blessed a block of ice at one point.
Is that a thing? Do Catholics do that? I don't know.
The Pope did. He blessed a block of
look
ice.
Up this church. No, seriously, what is the name of this church?
It's Mayflower. It's Mayflower Church in Billings. Mayflower Congregational
Church
or something.
in Billings. Okay, yeah. I'm about to look up their denomination.
Yeah. So we have pride flags flying outside of it. We have, I think I saw they were Methodist or something, which kind of surprises me.
Oh, so they're Protestant.
Definitely, it's not a Catholic church. That much I know. Yeah. But pride flags, solar panel blessings.
Okay, I found their fucking faggy ass website.
Okay.
It's the first one.
You're invited, they say, no doubt, to a gay gangbang if that's what they want.
Jeez.
Everybody.
She seems like a nice lady. Like she could hang out with Jeanie.
Yeah. No,
okay, so they're United. The denomination is the United Church of Christ. So yeah, they are Protestant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're United Church of Christ is like this practically secular version of Christianity. So it's not really. I wouldn't really call it Protestant so much.
Well,
as I
where
would call
is
it,
God
like,
here? I mean, the pride flags and the solar panel blessings. Like, where did God go? What happened to him?
There was no
in
God.
your ass.
There's never a God here.
Well,
they just use the church label to try to get a congregation of faggots.
It's clearly a progressive politics organization, like first and foremost. Jesus Christ serves the progressive politics. That's the order.
And what a desecration of the name of the Mayflower. I mean, really. How, I mean, are you insulted by that? I am. And I guess I don't even have ancestors that came from the Mayflower.
Yeah, I didn't know for sure if it's a reference to that ship or something, but I mean, presumably that's what they're talking about.
I mean, I've been offended about their use of the rainbow for a while. So
anyway, all right. Well, if I find out who done it, we will come back to the story. I have no idea. It's a mystery, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it there. We'll get back into Super Chat. We'll call it a night.
I want to say one more thing. The people at this church deserve the same Tim Walz treatment.
The R word. This is shameful.
You mean male?
That's
the one.
Oh, okay.
All right, Rajay Mahaj. In Minecraft, we used to burn heretics. Simply for just being heretical.
You must have the best. What do you call a Minecraft build? Like when you build something in Minecraft, is there a term for that?
No, just a Minecraft build.
It's just a build. You must have the best builds. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, anyway, I got working guillotines and everything.
Let's see. I think we left off with Tim. There's a point about Tim Walz I've seen nobody address. When Tim Walz says, I've become friends with school shooters, what people don't talk about is most of those shooters are school-aged. Tim befriending school kids is fucking creepy.
He touched Does it make him a PDF file?
Maybe. Yeah. Tim also says, apologies, Yakko. I closed the first Rumble stream and immediately realized, shit, there was a Rumble rant I should have grabbed before I closed that. Usually I'm good at pretending I'm good at my job, and I try to be on top of that sort of stuff. Well, thank you, Tim. You helped save, what was salvageable out of that stream. And apparently Rumble has now finally introduced the feature that you can look back at your history of chats. Now, I'm not able to do that tonight because I haven't taken a look at the feature. I'll try to do that over Christmas, New Year's break here. But hopefully losing Rumble rants and not being able to find them later is a thing of the past. I'll have to confirm later, but appreciate those of you who support the show on Rumble. Also, Justin Brush, glad you were able to work out the kinks from the duct tape, or kinks out of the duct tape for tonight. Merry Christmas to all three of you, and here's to a new year of bringing the news that matters and laughing at hoax hate. Well,
we love you. You're very special.
And
thank you, Justin. Merry Christmas to you and your family. If people aren't aware, Justin is hosting my Bible study for this season of Bible study, and it's he's doing a great job. He's leading us through Romans, and we are off for a couple weeks for Christmas and New Year's, but you can still listen to the podcast feed, and we'll be back on whatever the second Friday in January is, the 9th, I think. We'll resume Bible study then. If you're interested in Bible study led by Mr. Justin Brush, Bible study page on my website, linked right there on the homepage. mattis.k. Robert retired after season 2. But Robert is still around from time to time, so he's not gone. It's just, dude, Robert, like, he puts so much effort into everything he does, and he's a busy man with a lot of professional obligations. And
I'll go ahead.
After the second season, it was too much time for him, but we wanted to carry on. So we had Reverend David Rogers do season 3, and then we have Justin Brush doing season 4. So we're carrying on in Robert's honor.
I was only involved in season 1.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it'd been so long already.
Dude, and Robert's Axe season 2 was like 50 weeks. We did like 50, 1-hour sessions on that thing. So it was incredibly deep.
When he comes back on the show, just be sure to alert me so I can wear sunglasses.
You know what? I could wear my Kaniga hat, or maybe I can't get away with this. But tell me what you guys think of this hat, really quick. I got a new Town Pump hat. Can you see that? Let me put it up.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I could wear the Town Pump.
I'm surrounded by faggots.
Hey, Montana needs its honor restored after that bullshit Billings church. So I can shill for Town Pump to bring honor back to the state of Minnesota.
You
Montana.
Only need,
what am I talking about?
A little bit of yellow and orange in there.
What are you talking about? You think this Town Pump is rainbow? Is that what you're saying?
I'm kidding, man.
First of all, there is orange. It might look red, but it's blue and orange, all right?
Okay, you're not helping your point here,
we'll
but
fuel you up.
I did say I was kidding.
Wait, what happened to? Did Batman just click out of here? What the heck happened?
What?
What the hell just happened? Why is it all? Oh, hold on. Somehow, like, did you raised your hand? That's what screwed this up.
What?
Put your hand down. Unraise your hand.
I don't know what this is. Can you hear me?
What is going on here? Now the duct tape has returned. What? You did a hand raising thing. Hold on, dude. What the?
We were so close.
I have no idea what this is.
Dude. Okay? Leave the. Oh wait, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say leave the call and come back, but anyway.
They don't know what the fuck they're
That was
doing.
entirely me
Duct
just
tape all
moving
over
my
the
hand
place?
and bumping
It's
the
a
mouse.
disgrace.
That's what happened.
What happened?
I have the ability to absolutely fuck over your stream whenever I want.
What
So,
happened
good
was
to know.
Zoom read your gesture as a hand raise, like you were requesting to speak.
Yeah.
And then it changed the way the video windows were oriented, which screwed up the whole thing. I didn't know that's even. Thank you, Zoom, for this feature nobody wanted. Really appreciate that.
We were almost there.
Yeah, and now it's giving me a notification. You cannot move a video while someone has their hand raised. Well, I'm gonna ban hand raising in this room.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Don't ever raise your hand again. But I didn't even know that was a thing.
Dude,
At least I didn't know you could do it
I
by.
didn't even do it on purpose. I literally, my elbow bumped my mouse.
Damn, that's
how
crazy.
that happened.
All right. So just when Justin brought up the duct tape, it strikes again. Producer Tim, I feel like there's a term for plank with a screw in it, American plank with a screw in it, American, like a KTLA American, or somebody like that.
Well,
that's
they're
going to
already
catch on
called
as well.
Basketball Americans, so
Yeah. Like it's going to catch on like Nelson or Jogger American. Also, am I the only one thinking of that Simpsons meme? Say the line, Bart, or police sigh. The suspect was known to police. They're always known to police.
Mm-hmm.
Tim also says that stupid Ponce is a nurse. The woman who yelled at Jeanie. If she's too unstable to control her feeling of hatred for a political opponent, excuse me, why the fuck would you want to put people's lives in her hands? It's a similar idea for anyone who works with kids, not just teachers. There's an angle there too about her conduct. She doesn't have just any job. Her job is actually care for the elderly, and she's out there demonstrating that she has no care or even basic respect for them.
Yeah.
It's a consideration.
In that regard, then I will probably side with Batman that she does need to get fired then.
I'm glad you've come around.
If she can't respect the elderly, if she can't go, oh, this is a person who I am supposed to be, taking care of. This is the kind of person who ultimately needs my help, who I spend all of my time around. If their political opinions suddenly are against my own, I am willing to abuse them publicly and post it.
If your grandma was in the hospital,
you cannot be a nurse. Get the fuck out.
If your grandma was in the hospital in the same shirt, that lady would pull the plug.
Yeah.
Like she would. Oh, I tripped. Yeah. White Turkey 20. Hello to Mr. White Turkey. Merry Christmas.
Why I gotta be white, bro?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Why can't it be dark meat turkey?
Are you a dark meat guy?
That sounds really. You know what? We're not gonna even go there. All right.
We've gone. Why not? We've gone everywhere else tonight. Why is that the line?
I do like my dark meat. Okay. All right.
I'm just going to leave that there. Tim,
Just leave it where
clarification regarding Jeanie and her husband. The Monday before the incident, I believe the 15th of December, was the 12th anniversary of losing her husband to suicide, per her daughter. Okay, so there is truth to that. Jeanie also said Target and her manager, they're standing by her. Good. That is also, speaking of employers that went off the deep end in recent years, the fact that Target is like not being ridiculous about that is maybe a sign of the times changing as well.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, they were the ones who were trying to give you Tuck kids swimsuits. Remember?
Yeah, they went
only
from
3 years ago.
Yeah, they went from
Do you
being
remember this.
But
oh yeah,
and while I appreciate that, and I definitely appreciate that, to Batman's point, it is a sign that the pendulum is swinging, but that's also the issue. The pendulum will swing back whoever else is in power.
Because they pissed off
Yeah, but here's the thing. The pendulum has swung so far in their direction now that it's going to take a while for it to swing back.
Yeah, and maybe it'll never go that far back. Dude, I remember during COVID, when you go to Target and there was nothing on the shelves because of all the bullshit shutdowns. Like you need basic supplies and the shelves are empty. You know what the one shelf that was always stocked? The Black Lives Matter end cap, where you could buy your raised fist t-shirts, because nobody bought those. And I said to my wife at the time, nobody buys that shit, and Target doesn't have the balls to put it on the clearance rack. They won't do it. You're not gonna see those little orange labels that say 50% off. They won't do it. They never did. They sent them to some poor kids in Africa who now have to wear leftover George Floyd shirts from Target.
Please don't shoot me. Black Lives Matter.
Well, that was the other thing about that son of a bitch with the fence. We did hands up, don't shoot. Dude, that was 10 years ago, and it was a lie. How do you not? Yeah. You have to know that's a lie. It's a lie.
You don't care. It's about the message.
Even the witnesses say it was a lie. It's not just the evil police, dude.
But it's all about the message. That's all he cares about is the message. It doesn't matter if it's a lie or if it's the truth.
Richard Cheese. Okay, Richard.
And here it comes.
Yeah, I see you there, man.
That's disgusting.
3 of the hardest things to say. I'm sorry, I need help, and Worcestershire sauce. That one's pretty hard to spell. Yeah,
sauce.
Are you supposed to say like Worcester, or is that just Massachusetts?
It's Worcester, right?
Is it I don't even know how to say it. I actually don't. I don't know how to say it.
Can you put it on the screen so I can see how it's spelled?
It's been a while since I've talked to my British buddies. But,
let's try this.
You know,
there's got to be an authority. Even Google doesn't try. You know how you can type a word into Google and it'll give you like a vocal playback?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even do that.
Oh, isn't it Worcester sauce?
Let me pull this up. That's how you spell it, Joshy. Worcestershire, I think, is how you say it. There's got to be a video. Isn't there a short video here?
Yeah, no, there's some weird pronunciation for that. I know there is.
Pronounce. Oh, here we go.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
So I was right the first time.
Okay, that's... No. I don't think that's even correct.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies.
Worcestershire.
I was right the first time.
All right, if that's what they say.
Must be Welsh.
Thank you, Richard Cheese, for this challenge.
There's a lot of fucking shit that's pronounced improperly in the Queen's English. Don't you know?
That's the one British accent that sucks bad, is that Cockney bullshit.
Wait, which ones do you like then?
I like the British accent is a nice accent. Like the posh British accent sounds great. The Cockney, no, I'm out on that.
Okay.
I don't mean you. I mean in general. Like
no. I know what you mean. But like, what about when you get into like Northern England, where you get the really weird ones? Cockney is that's Southern England. That's
isn't it just the Scots?
Working class Southern England.
Doesn't it just become Scottish?
Completely different
completely different.
But I'm saying it's way north. Like, doesn't the posh just become Scottish at a certain line?
No.
There's more.
No,
yeah.
No, it's completely different. It's way
different.
more convoluted.
I don't know of any more. I'll have to hear him. Tim says, "Stop screaming into the microphone, lady." The DC police chief. Given that its whole purpose is to amplify your voice, it bugs me when people do that. It was peaking the whole time, yeah. Much like Fani Willis at her hearing last week, too. Pamela Smith was the lady who asked about the chain of command by the press and didn't know. She was asked about chain of command by the press and didn't know what it meant. I never saw that, so that sounds on brand, though. Let's see. Lunachick, you may need to try bubble gum instead of duct tape. Merry Christmas. It could be. I don't know. I might have to... adjust my means a little bit and see if I can repair things in a better way. But
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Lunachick. All right, We're good on Odyssey. We're all set. I think we're set on all our chats for the evening. Give a quick refresh. But anything else you guys want to say before we're out of here?
I promise that I will not chastise the Protestants as much next year.
That's a promise you can't.
And you've got to have a better appreciation of the Cockney accent, because it's great and it's dying out.
All right, it's definitely time to end the stream now. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks to our live chatters and super chatters for making the live show a success. If you're listening on demand later, thank you kindly as well for supporting the show. Thanks for your patience with the duct tape production these last few days as well. Thanks to Batman and Joshy Boy for sitting in tonight. Thank you, of course, to Santa Claus for taking time away from his busy Christmas schedule to be here. We send our regards to Mrs. Claus and to the elves and to the reindeer. Of course, appreciate producer Tim and his assistance as always, but especially through this duct tape episode. Find everything show related at mattchristiansenmedia.com or mattis.gay if you prefer brevity. It's a real site. You can go to it even at work. You won't even get in trouble. mattis.gay. I'll be back on Sunday. Until then, a very Merry Christmas to you and yours. Have a great night.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
Merry Christmas, all of you.